Hello and welcome back. This is Jacob, and today we are going to be continuing and also finishing off the narration and character voice acting for the ATO story. Alright, time for the finale and to see how this story is gonna wrap up and what potential, as usual, cliffhanger we might get from this story. But before we do any of that, to anybody who bumps into the voiceover through this very episode, you can find a full playlist for this in the description of this very video, together with a couple of other playlists. And also, if you just want to listen to any Arknights story in general, just type the name into the channel and you will find a playlist for it. So enjoy and thank you very much. But yeah, time for the finale and to see how the rescue op is gonna go, where we left off last time, and what other things we're gonna learn from the ending of the story, and what the background potential is of our little tiny little, totally not Ina from Hololive, aka Sarasa. Yeah. We'll see quite a lot of things today, so I hope you guys are ready. But before we do so, it's time for a quick recap of the previous part. So for those of you who want to skip ahead, just use any of the timestamps either in the description of the video box or down in the pinned comment in the comment section, or just navigate the YouTube bar, because that should also have the embedded timestamps. But let's begin. So then, last time we began with Hoshiguma and Momoka telling Hoshiguma about her past. Momoka's real name is Haruka, and she comes from another town from the south. The town itself was known for its polluted water that has poisoned many people, including her parents, who died slowly because of that. They then return to Kajimachi and run into Tessai and Kichise. Hoshiguma then spends some time talking to Tessai about their shared past, and Tessai gives Hoshiguma her old gear and also learns and hears for the first time that she is a cop in Lungmen. Hoshiguma then goes to rescue Moriuchi, and he manages to escape thanks to her. However, Hoshiguma gets hauled up by Mio as Mifune leaves. Moriuchi then runs into the Kami on the unicycle that tells him that his own Kami is waiting for him apparently. Tetsuya meanwhile finds the Northern spy evidence that he is looking for, but something feels off. And a ninja that was tailing him takes a picture of him and the evidence. Tetsuya from here on becomes a hostage for Mifune. Mifune then arrives at Tessai's place and threatens the old man with Tetsuya as a hostage. He live streams what is happening to Tetsuya as he kidnaps everyone there and takes Hanyaa. Mifune also escorts Tessai to an auction in which he forces the old man into debt also he can get the deed to Kajimachi. Mifune succeeds but doesn't stop there, as he provokes Tessai even further to the point where they fight and Mifune kills him. And Tetsuya hears all of that happen over the TV. Hoshiguma arrives back too late, but just in time to spend the last moments the old man has with him before he passes on. After that, Hoshiguma escapes into the city and runs into Koreto. They share a drink, punch each other, and Hoshiguma declares to him that she is gonna fight Mifune. Just then they hear Momoka call out to Hoshiguma from a TV. Learning from that Momoka is in danger, Hoshiguma goes to save her. Momoka is not alone though, as she makes contact with a little helper by the name of Sarasa, a Kinseki station employee who hates Mifune. Moriuchi on the other hand finally has a talk with his Kami and declares that he will also go and help Hoshiguma fight, and meets up with her. So, all our players are ready now, it's time to start the rescue op. So, let's continue. And we should obviously continue on from stage 7, where we left off last time, but before we do so, there are a couple of 3 extra stages here at the top, and all of these 3 stages, just to add them into the mix, were gimmick stages, that were pretty much just, hey, you wanna play a round of pachinko with enemies? Hell yeah. But just to add the titles and description of the stages to the mix before we begin, let's begin with our first one, called Starting Point. You swear you heard the spring say goodbye when you released the switch. The second one, Bounce Back. You thought you had the perfect angle, but fate had different ideas. The sound of the back of the empty chair being hit is the rhythm of a heartbeat. And the third one is called Full Circle. You pray that everything will descend like fate. The scoring lights go out at the same time, and only the one with your name on it flashes in the darkness. So, continuing on with our actual story and stage 7, titled Cold Moonlight. It says, perhaps it is best to be cold and heartless through and through. Perhaps that home should never have existed in the first place. Gazing down from the top of the TV tower, one can see fireworks rise in the night sky before falling gently and disappearing from sight. The fireworks show has not begun yet. This is simply the warm-up for the warm-up. The Vidya gazes at his own reflection in the window, and that of the reforged Hanyaa behind him. Hanyaa. I finally have you after 20 years. Too late. Too late. What could you possibly do for me, other than acting as witness to this ceremony in Tessai's place? As the Vidya gazes upon the reforged Hanyaa, he realizes that there are remnants of what seemed to be straps of some sort on the handle on the back side. The back side is untouched. A good shield, but nothing more. Mia! How long until the start of the ceremony?
Around an hour.
I'm going downstairs for some fresh air.
Hoshiguma may crash the ceremony, Mifune-san.
So much the better.
What do you mean?
If she does, it would mean one of two things. Either she's been driven to madness, or she has somehow managed to stay calm after Tessai's death. On my turf, in front of my camera, and on television, however, she'll be nothing more than a crazed murderer. Nothing more than a footnote in the accession ceremony. A failure driven to madness. Even if I'm not a match for her, the ones upstairs will take care of her.
About Momoka.
Getting soft-hearted? Well, I could certainly keep her around for a while longer, extract every last bit of value from her. We have plenty of ways to persuade her. But we'll have to leave that Kichise alive too, so that Momoka is not driven to despair. You haven't dealt with her yet, have you?
No.
Good. What about Tetsuya? Mia?
He escaped.
He what? Mifune's voice turned sinister in an instant. The truth.
I'll let him go.
Soft-hearted again?
Yes.
Is that all?
That's all.
I'm disappointed in you.
I'm prepared to accept my punishment.
It can wait, but this necessitates a change in your responsibilities. You will face Hoshiguma, if she does come.
It's my duty.
Don't be in such a hurry to say yes. You know what awaits if she shows up before me still living and breathing.
Yes.
Two ninjas will keep a constant eye on you. Don't try anything funny. Now, I need to get that fresh air. Make sure everyone is ready for any unexpected situations. The fireworks show won't start for a while. Let's walk around.
No, darling, we should go straight to the site of the fireworks show, on the other side of the river. They're saying on the intercity net that this area is not safe now. Rumor has it that the Oyabun of the Kinsekikai is dead, killed by the Ao Oni, the one in the Kaidan.
Oh, that media mogul? What's his name?
No, that's Mifune. It was Tessai who died.
Huh. You know, I actually thought Mifune was the one who died, since he's always showing up in public.
There's been rumors coming from Kajimachi, plus the Northern Court spy that they're talking about. Anyway, we should go over to the other side of the river.
Kaidan, hot topics, manipulation of public opinion. It has become second nature to him. Who would have thought that all the kaidan Mitsukue originated from Shimasu's attempt to blackmail him over the diet candidate affair, only to end up slain by his sword. Shimasu's death needed to be covered up, the fledgling TV station needed relevance, the diet member whom he was trying to butter up was waiting to see him prove his quality. So he linked Hoshiguma with Sawara the Silentious of Shinaki, and reported on the haunted house for a week. It was a smashing success. The intensive reporting dispelled any suspicions that viewers had, and left behind plenty of room for him to clean up and misdirect. Relevance from the kaidan became money. Money moved diet members and shackled the police, made the Kinzeki Kai grovel before him, and rendered Tessai powerless to intervene. Everything snowballed from there. The haunted house became the ideal place to dispose of people who got in the way. But the trick could not continue forever. Interest would fade, and revenue would decline, while Tessai's suspicions and the pressure of public opinion grew. When the last gangster who knew how the diet candidate died was dealt with, he began to expand the scope and channels of the kaidan. It could involve the kami or accidents, even a fabricated story that was sufficiently interesting and frightening. He too wondered why the people of Mitsukue were so obsessed with kaidan. They feared any potential danger in life, but they could not control their own curiosity. The prospect of danger seemed to represent a fatal attraction. The TV station provided the Kinzeki Kai with a constant source of income, funding the crystalline component industry, making him someone whom Tessai looked down on, but could not do without him. Meanwhile, to him, Tessai was already nothing more than a... Huh? Emergency. 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 This is not a drill. This is not a drill.
What's going on? Earthquake?
Mitsukue is under attack by the Northern Court. Repeat, Mitsukue is under attack by the Northern Court. For your own safety, please follow these instructions.
What? A Northern Court invasion?
If you are inside, close all doors and windows and await further instructions. If you are outside, go to the nearest shelter immediately.
Shelter? Do we have those in Mitsukue? There used to be announcements, but now we'll have to look for the signs.
On Nita Street and beyond, all of Mitsukue is suddenly filled with red lights, with the exception of the oblivious fireworks. A fear that was once forgotten has been reawakened. Conflict between North and South has only increased since the Blood Peak campaign, but rapid economic growth caused the attention of the people to drift away from the gunfire on the border. Mitsukue and Kusarigawa continued to treat each other as potential adversaries, even after the 90s, but the average folk have long since forgotten the possibility. This fear, which has lain forgotten for many years but never truly left, seized the hearts of Mitsukue's people more powerfully than any kaidan.
Mifune-san!
What the blazes is going on?
Someone hacked into Kinzeki Channel's broadcasting network. They tampered with the backup emergency footage provided by the government and are broadcasting it all over the city. We're not sure how, but they even managed to take over the networks of some of the other stations. Even our partners are affected. They're spamming our phone lines, thinking that we approved it.
Moshi Moshi, what's going on?
It's the diet! How's the infiltration going?
Couldn't be better. Total chaos right now. Had no difficulty breaching.
Don't go too far, Sarasa. There might be unintended consequences to spreading fake news.
Don't worry. I went to crowded places like the fireworks show and places like hospitals, schools, and old folks' homes, where people tend to have weak hearts. I also set a retraction video to play after the warnings looped a few times, telling people that it was a mistake. I'll go to the ceremony now with Momoka and Kichise. Time for you to create more chaos, Hoshiguma.
On it.
Hoshiguma walks in the opposite direction of the panicked crowd, towards the TV station. As Sarasa said, the broadcasts are now changing to play the retraction video, and the crowd gradually begins to calm down. As Hoshiguma walks, she wonders if she might see the reaction she hoped for from the crowd. It need not be an awakening or an awareness of vigilance, nothing so heavy. She just wants to see them shiver and remember what fear truly is, not just a little punctuation to spice up a happy life. But all she hears is people excitedly repeating a single word. Kaidan.
Here we are. So little security. Looks like the station really has its hands full.
The one-horned Oni walks inside without hesitation, passing by 1, 2, and 3 station staff without being noticed. Until the 4th. The Ao Oni? It's the Ao Oni! Call the Kinseki Kai!
I suggest you make way while I'm still asking politely. No?
They have her surrounded. They outnumber her many to 1. Yet for some reason, there is a thought in all their minds that they cannot shake. She outmatches them, 1 against many.
This is for your own good. Maybe some of you have heard about what the Ao Oni of Kinseki Kai did 20 years ago, right here in Mitsukue. Even if we are no longer clan family, even if your Oyabun killed Uncle Tessai, I don't want to fight you if I don't have to. Make way. I want to Sekinbi. Don't make me do this. You won't get away! The Kinseki Kai never issued a notice of expulsion or no contact to you. You're still part of the Kinseki Kai, and to attack us is to attack your own family. Do you really believe that?
No one answers. Hoshiguma continues walking, almost nonchalantly. There is no sound of footsteps behind her, only a slight whoosh or something flying through the air. She does not even cast a glance at it, be it knife or flash drive, shuriken or just a handful of beans. None of that matters anymore.
When you're throwing a knife, you really should throw it like you mean it. You might as well have been throwing roasted soybeans. Oni wa soto, fuku wa uchi. That's the old saying. Oni out, fortune in.
Surrender and we can keep it at that. There's no bad blood between us.
No bad blood? Maybe you're right. But back in my day, we had a different slogan when we threw beans in Kajimachi. We said, fortune out, Oni in.
She draws her sword. The Yakuza who have heard of the Aoni instinctively take a step backwards. Only one of the younger members steps forward, seemingly oblivious to what he is risking for a chance at glory.
Alright then.
No one saw what the one-horned Oni did. All they saw was a blue flash, and the young Yakuza fell to the ground. A bloody gash on his thigh. There's only one of her! Get her! We're the Kinseki Kai! We're the strongest! Get her! We must not disappoint the Kinseki Kai or Chairman Mifune!
That's more like it.
They rush toward the striding Oni like the tide. The Oni takes step after step forward, until the distance between her and the figure ahead closes to a hair's breadth. Once again the blue light, but this time everyone sees the true nature of the Oni, no longer attempting to suppress her fury. Hoshiguma's blade moves through the air. Before long, there is no longer anyone standing in her way. The injuries are not fatal, but no one has the strength or the stomach to oppose her anymore. Only the one-horned Oni still stands tall.
Sad. The TV station's in total chaos. Wow. Grandma told me stories about Northern Court special forces infiltrating Mitsukue in her youth. I didn't think much of it at the time. Thinking about it now, though, what we're seeing is just a fraction of what could really happen. What do you think about my surprise for Kimby? I think it might be a little too big. Well, we should focus on our own tasks. Moriyuchi-san has already infiltrated the TV station. We need to head to the Ascension ceremony. There shouldn't be many people there at this time, but you'll need to help out if there's any resistance. Gotcha. All that's left to do is act. I'll lead the way. Climb up this vent. Follow me. I'm coming. It's so high. Don't worry, I've got a light. Hold my hand, and I'll lead you on.
Momoka tries not to look down, but she cannot help herself from shaking. They are moving through massive formations of steel rebar. The darkness of night hangs above, while it is bright as day underneath their feet. TV station staff, yakuza, and ninja form a picture of chaos beneath them.
How are you doing, Kichise? Oh, alright. Good. You don't come up this kind of place often? Who does? Are you a deserting ninja or something? No, I got used to this kind of place while hiding from ninjas. Hiding? That's not important. We're here. We've got people down below. Momoka, jump over this gap and follow those pipes down to the stage. You should be able to stay out of their view. That far? I'll try.
Momoka clenches her fists, her eyes fixed forward, and kicks the ground hard. The steel structure suddenly starts moving, and the platform beneath Momoka's feet begins to vibrate irregularly.
Why did it start moving all of a sudden? I think I'm falling. Watch your head. What's going on? Ah! She fell? We're going down too. Sarasa! Yeah? Woo! Are you alright, Momoka? I'm alright. Hanging in there. Get on the stage. I'll get the console. Start once the lights come on. I can't wait for Momoka's show. I'm afraid I can't let you do that. Mio, son? Momoka. You've come to stop me, haven't you? Yes. Why? For the Kinseki Kai. I know what you're going to say. That will ruin the Kinseki Kai.
Mio-san, Hoshiguma has shown up at the door of the TV station. You should go now. According to Mifune-san's instructions.
Hoshiguma showed up for her.
But Mifune-san...
The other one watching me? I know you're there. Go and tell Mifune-san that Hoshiguma will definitely come, and I'll be waiting for her here. Now, Momoka, Kichise-san, and that girl hiding behind the console, whose name I do not know. I suggest you stay put until Hoshiguma shows up. Your grievances against Mifune-san and Kinseki Kai are certainly legitimate, but this place is also home to me, and to many others. I can't let you destroy it. She's bluffing! Momoka!
The black ethereal hand suddenly appeared in front of Kichise's neck. She instinctively takes a step back and pulls the trigger. The ethereal hand shreds the bead-shaped grenade. The lights go out, and the stage darkens. illuminated only by a faint light in the direction of the console. Mio walks towards the light, sword in one hand, tanto in the other.
That's right, I'm here. Come on now.
One of the spotlights suddenly turns on, shining straight into Mio's eyes. Then another, and another, and another. Then they all turn off at the same time. Mio's hesitation lasts only an instant. She takes a moment to collect herself, then charges at the console. Bang! A falling spotlight narrowly misses Mio's head. By the time she turns her gaze back to the control console, there is no longer anyone there. While Mio is occupied with the console, Kichisei, Momoka, and Sarasa begin running toward the side stage exit.
She's locked the door. Let's try another.
Click, click, click. They hear the sounds of locks being engaged. The lights above their head turn back on. Mio slowly walks towards the gathered trio.
The lights are no longer under your control. Resistance is futile. You think so?
Sarasa closes her eyes and raises her lamp-shaped staff. Mio's pace quickens. Suddenly, the tip of the staff emits a blinding light, and the spotlights above the stage turn off again. Not just the spotlights, all the light that remains on the stage is trapped in the liquid bouncing at the tip of the staff.
Lights out, Ice Queen!
And even the last glimmer of light is utterly consumed.
Sarasa? Let me sleep. I'm so tired. What do we do? I can hear Mio-san's footsteps. She's coming. Let's try the other side of the stage. Maybe the door there is still unlocked. No, it's too far. She'll find us. This is where we fell, isn't it? Can we go back the way we came? The vents.
Kichisei puts Sarasa on her back and was about to move when they hear Mio's voice coming from center stage.
Don't bother. I can hear you. What do we do? It's all or nothing. I'll deal with her.
Suddenly she hears the sound of knocking behind her.
Is it locked? I guess we'll have to do it this the hard way. Get out of the way.
A massive crash, and the locked door swings open, bringing in light from beyond. The next instant, as though answering the call of the light coming in from the door, bright orbs of light float up from Sarasa's staff and go back to where they came from.
Sarasa? I thought I would get to sleep a little longer. There'll be no light here as long as I'm still asleep.
Sarasa yawns, and the spotlights above flicker. Mio does not move from her position, so Sarasa begins walking towards the console. Momoka follows hesitantly, but Mio remains in place.
Aren't you going to stop them? No. Your blade is drawn. My duty is not to deal with them. Adoptive minions have what it takes to beat Kichi-sen Sarasa. In that case, there is nothing I can do.
What about Mifune?
I don't care. Our battle has nothing to do with them.
The NS TV station's back online, Detective Karato. I hear you. The guys assigned to the fireworks show want to know what to do. The citizens are still uneasy after that scare. Any risk of a stampede or other serious accident? Minimal. The situation's very much within expected parameters. Then the show will go on. Mifune likes excitement. We'll give him excitement. We're getting calls from citizens asking what happened. What do you think? What do you think I think? Tell them we're investigating. Kinsuki Station is, of course, responsible for the erroneous announcement of a Northern Court invasion, and we're taking this very seriously.
Detective Koroto, you have a visitor!
Ooh. Go ahead, Mifune. Detective Koroto. If it wasn't Mifune, I thought it would have been his diet friend paying a personal visit. Making insinuations will do no favors for your career. Besides, you overestimate your own importance. Should I take that as an admission? I've come to warn you. The police must bear responsibility for the chaos that occurred on Nita Street tonight. We do not wish to see the chaos spread any further. Bear responsibility, huh? Oh dear, I think I just peed my pants. Watch your attitude. You still have a chance to settle this matter peacefully. Do I? Pray enlighten me. Cancel all events scheduled for tonight. Focus your forces on restoring order at Kinsuki Station and begin a search for those responsible. Such as... the number one suspect is, I'm sure, Kohei Mifune, considering that it was his station that broadcasted that. Your men are not allowed to touch him. Have a nice day. If you refuse to obey orders, you may go once you have signed this resignation. Feel free to discuss any concerns with your supervisor. Wow, I still have a chance to turn back. It's too late for that. Like you said, it's too late for that. The detective reaches out with his foot. You! He trips the visitor, takes the piece of paper with the name of the detective supervisor on it, and tears it to pieces. Oh my, I didn't expect you to fall like that. I thought our diet friend would have a tougher secretary.
How dare you!
Go tell your boss that the police are here to protect his bloody life, not his bloody money. If he really thinks someone's after his life, he can come personally to the station and file a report, and we'll take it into consideration. Now get lost! White sword, black gloves, white hand, black sword, white tanto, black ethereal hand. It is a dizzying exchange of black and white. Contrary to the impression she gives, the Liberi's swordplay is overwhelmingly aggressive, with only attacks, feints, and more attacks, with not the slightest attention paid to defense. The moves of the one-horned Oni, on the other hand, are almost strategically basic. Dodge, parry, backstep, sidestep.
12. You just blocked 12 attacks in quick succession. Why don't you fight back? Are you still afraid of your sword? If I was, it wouldn't have left its sheath to begin with. You, on the other hand, look all polite and cultured, but your moves are pure aggression and ferocity. That's not Kimbi's style. My sword has nothing to do with him. Then why do you give your life for him? Since when have I given my life for him? Stop fooling yourself.
Hoshiguma takes a deliberate look around. Kichisei is sending explosions everywhere with her grenades, while the stage equipment is turned into a giant monster under Sarasa's control. With Momoga doing an impressive job of not getting caught, the trio is more than holding their own. There is only one less thing to do in their battle plan.
The only thing I'm trying to protect is the Kinsuki Kai. And Kimbi has to lead it. The Kinsuki Kai needs to be a place where the dregs of society can survive, those whom have nowhere else to go. And Tessai couldn't give you that. No. You can keep parrying, but you'll eventually show an opening. Finally, you're attacking. All I got was the edge of your clothes. There is blue fire burning around you. Is that your arts? Blue fire? You're right. I didn't notice. Back to the question. What is it that Tessai couldn't give you, but Kimbi can? Tessai could not even protect himself.
Hoshiguma thrusts. The attack is simple, but the flames upon the sword force Mio to leap backwards.
That's not what I wanted to hear. Your flames are burning even fiercer. Tell me, why couldn't Tessai give you what you wanted? Because Tessai couldn't protect himself. Mitsukue didn't need him, nor did he need Mio working under Tessai.
You?
A silent, ragged orphan who only fights tooth and nail when someone steps on her is a subject of scorn. An equally silent, well-dressed assistant who only draws her sword when the company's interests are compromised is the subject of admiration. I thought you came from some noble martial family fallen on hard times. Tessai wanted to give drags of society like us a home, and so he's dead. Mifune knows we don't deserve a home, and so he lives on. Is that how Mitsukue judges the Kinseki Kai? Always has.
Hoshiguma is almost completely engulfed in the azure flame. Iliberi wonders if the flame will consume the Oni before it consumes her.
You are angry. Were you angry just like this, too, 20 years ago? Does that matter? Mifune-san wants you to lose your reason, as you did 20 years ago. He believes it will turn you into a crazed beast, one that everyone will be eager to put down. You know this is what he wants, and so you suppress yourself, which is why you didn't draw your sword the last time. Huh. Are you inviting me to give in to anger? Complete the mission your master assigned? It's not what I want, but I would have no issue with it. It would be a shame, that's all. Why? A perfect opponent who could never stand before me in perfect condition, forced to either suppress herself or lose control entirely. But that's all. Take this.
Mia once again prepares to attack. 3 hands, 3 swords, a posture seemingly without form or order, but ready to pounce on any weakness. Catch!
Who's there?
This is crazy heavy. You know how hard it was to get it out of Kimbi's room, even with all that chaos at the TV station? Catch! Moriuchi swings his entire body to throw Hanyaa in the direction of the standoff. Mio's ethereal hand is the first to catch Hanya's handle, but Hoshiguma leaps and spins 180 degrees like she's dancing, forcing the ethereal hand to loosen its grip, allowing her to take Hanya's handle.
Suppress or lose control? It won't happen. With or without Hanyaa.
Hoshiguma tightens her grip around the ribbon on her sword.
Hanya's an old friend after all. Maybe you had a chance just now, but not any longer.
Rage. The rage that seemed compressed around Hoshiguma now spreads outwards, burning on her arms, her shield, and her sword. Hoshiguma takes a step forward, and the flames of rage almost catch the hem of Mia's clothing.
Good. It's good enough for me to know that you won't lose control.
Hoshiguma faces off against black and white, hands human and not, swords long and short. Dilberry shows no fear, the edges of her mouth angle ever so slightly upwards.
Any last words? Be kind to the Kinseki Kai. Be kind to Momoka. My conscience is clear on all other matters. Except her. I'll remember. What about Kinbi? Any last words about him you want to say? Him? Is there any need to talk about him? Here and now? Huh. Good point.
Hoshiguma shifts her posture to one that makes it easy to unleash her power. The blue flames continue to burn intermittently around her. The face of Hanyaa glares with wide open eyes on the face of the shield. The edge of the sword seems ready to see blue blood. Ha!
Is this Hanyaa? Yes, this is Hanyaa. Your swords are worthy of you. They took the full brunt of Hanyaa and survived. You can pick them up, then we'll continue. There's no need. You've made your strength clear. There's no point in trying to fight you anymore. I must prepare. For what? For the aftermath. For a Kinsekikai without Mifune-san. How's things on Momoka's side, Moriuchi? Are they ready?
Just waiting for you to finish fighting. Sarasa?
Aye aye, sir. Momoka?
Momoka stands in the middle of the stage with the spotlight on her. Kichisei has done her best to clear a space, though there are still a few Yakuza lying on the ground near her.
I am ready to begin. Alright then. Kintsugi Station's biggest program of the night begins now.
So, that was a very cool section, not gonna lie. Mio and Hoshiguma exchanging blows there, and that cerulean flame around her. Yum 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 yum. But yeah, definitely, Hoshiguma is definitely a descendant of our dear old Quilon. Considering the blue flames and everything, right? The cerulean flames. They have been inherited by the descendants of the bloodline. I think still learning from this story that Hoshiguma is a descendant of Quilon, one of the big essentially leaders of the Sarkas of the past, is quite a, well, her entire probably bloodline being a descendant of his is quite crazy. Not gonna lie, but amazing at the same time. But yeah, that was a clash. Also, I know in the previous episode in the comments I called Mio a mother hen because she's so protective of pretty much every single one of the younglings. And yeah, I would say this stage pretty much shows it the best, considering her monologue with Hoshiguma and everything, and how much she wants to just protect these people who are just lost and don't know where to go. And yeah, she's a very interesting character, quite honestly, because yeah, she does appear and she definitely is a very ice cold. Also, you guys told me that apparently she's based, and that's why the third Phantom arm essentially appears, apparently based on Yatagarasu, which yeah, makes sense. Definitely makes sense that is the case with her. But yeah, outside of the fact that she definitely appears like a very ice cold person, not really ice cold too much, at least, and very protective of the younger generations, so to speak. But yeah, very wholesome character, despite the fact that she could probably gut you and slice you apart if she just wanted to. But anyway, let's continue on to stage number 8, titled Flowing River. The water will wash everything away, but the ways things were before will live on in memory. Yes, it's me. I just came back from our diet friend's place. Where is Hoshiguma? The venue? What about Mio? Has she dealt with them? No? She left? That traitor! What about the network? Did you record what's going on inside? What about Hoshiguma? Damn it! Get the editors on it now and make the footage of her fight with Mio look like she's completely lost control. What do you mean there's no time? Hacking? Hijacked network? Can't deal with it? What good are you? Cut the signal if you can't deal with it. The power supply too. The only thing left to air tonight is the apology. Who cares if the signal goes out? We can't have someone babbling on my channel. Hello? Hello? Sure. Lost the signal? You idiot! You demand I come and give a personal explanation? That just gives my enemies a chance to strike! Everything's gone to hell while I was humoring that bastard! Even Hanyaa is gone! Calm down. Clean up the mess and start over. It'll be alright. It's not the first time. First, go to the venue and stop those insects. The diet has given a nod on Hoshiguma. All that's left is to clean up public opinion. Come to cause trouble with your dear Hoshiguma, Neki, have you? Hoshiguma? Oh my goodness. Should I compliment you for your bravery or your adorable stupidity? Look at how beat up you are. Seems like my men were still playing with you, not knowing that you no longer had any use. Who did you grab this real sword from? Tell me, and I'll return it to him before he gets angry. Kinbi, you... Me? I don't have time to play with you, Tetsuya. Your father may have taught you the basics of swordsmanship when you were little, but you have a long way to go before you're ready to use it in a real fight. A father and son who got turned against each other by a mask. How much do you think you actually understood about the swordplay that he taught you? Turned against? Yes, turned against each other. I've said all I needed to say. Now get lost before I change my mind and reunite you with Tessai. You're the one who should be reunited with my father.
Deep breath. I know, countless people are watching me. I must tell them the truth. But, does it mean anything? They love Momoka Hanyu. They love to watch her panic at all the kaidan that seem to orbit around her. They love to watch me get scared, not speak the truth, and certainly not the real me. Yes, I'm afraid of even that. I'm a coward. Being afraid is the biggest common denominator between Haruka Shino and Momoka Hanyu. Hello everyone, good evening. I'm Momoka Hanyu, the girl who's so afraid of kaidan, but who just couldn't seem to get away from them. I'm sorry for disturbing you all after that big accident that just occurred on air.
Momochi? Didn't she go missing? How did she suddenly pop up like that? Was that emergency broadcast really a kaidan? Is she caught in the middle of a kaidan and looking for help from us?
As you can see, I'm standing here before you. Strange things seem to happen to me all the time. That's how kaidan are. They appear without warning and disappear the same way. But what if I told you that all of the kaidan were fake? From the very beginning?
Momoka, Kinsuki Channel's really throwing money into her, pulling the disappearing act. What's the kaidan this time? She said they're fake. What? Is she out of her mind? Does she think we're all stupid? Aren't kaidan all around us all the time? That's what she said. Don't ask me. Watch her yourself.
What if told you that, with the exception of a handful of kaidan associated with the kami, all the shows that I've been on, all the kaidan that I experienced, all of them were fabricated? I'm not talking about hypotheticals. I'm talking about true lies. Kinsuki Station and the Kinsuki Talent Agency deceived you, and I unknowingly became their accomplice. I'm sorry. I won't make any excuses for deceiving you. I'll accept any criticism. I told you, no TV tonight. My classmates told me they're airing something really amazing. Look, it's the Kaidan lady. The Kaidan lady spills the beans on the fake Kaidan. I've been a part of countless lies. For example, the original Kaidan, the family home of the Aoni of the Kinsuki Kai in Kajimachi that killed its residents. It was no paranormal activity, just actual murder. I now accuse Kohei Mifune, president of Kinsuki Channel and the Kinsuki Talent Agency, and the de facto leader of the Kinsuki Kai Yakuza Syndicate, of being the mastermind behind all this. Without any evidence, he suspected me of being in league with his political opponent, Tessai, and plotted to infect me with telepathy, but I knew nothing of any of it. The Aoni of Kinsuki Kai was exiled from Mitsukue after taking the fall for his crimes many years ago. She was framed for my kidnapping when in fact she had saved my life. When I accidentally stumbled upon the truth behind the Kaidan, he wanted to silence me, spreading rumors that I was retiring.
Detective Koroto, upstairs is absolutely fuming. This is the 8th time they're ordering us to cut the signal. What did we do with the last 7 orders? Nothing. You've got it. I know you've been unhappy about me saying that things will get better. I stopped believing it myself at some point. Whatever happens tonight is on me. Let there be one night when the police don't have to grovel to anyone. It's my parting gift to you.
This is what I needed to tell you tonight. Next, there's something else I wanted to tell you. About myself. I know a lot of people think I'm overreacting in the shows. You think I'm being dramatic on purpose. What I want to tell you is that fear has been a constant in Momoka Hanyu's entire life. Partially it's because I was told too many horror stories when I was little, but the more important reason is that I grew up in Gokawa, the city infamous for its polluted water. There, fear is not about serial killers roaming the streets at night, unicycles that bring misfortune, or elevators to hell. It is about watching your loved ones become bedridden all of a sudden, falling while walking on flat ground and losing the feeling in their hands. It all happens so naturally, so gradually, and it's too late by the time you realize it. I was one of the lucky ones. I came to Mitsukue to be bathed in people's attention, be it adoring, judging, or scornful. My fear was no longer about pain, illness, and death. It was about viewer ratings, losing fans, pressure from the agency, and fabricated kaidan. It seems such a luxury to fear those things, now that my life is once again under threat. Isn't it a sort of happiness to be afraid of kaidan? We don't need to face true danger. We lie in our beds, screaming at stories we don't know if they're true, and satisfy ourselves with the sensation of our nerves tightening and relaxing again. But I'm afraid I can never enjoy it the same way again. This luxury was lost to me forever when I learned that the kaidan that used to scare me were lies, manifestations of greed, murders, and cover-ups. From this day forth, kaidan shall no longer be part of Momoka Hanyu's life. I hereby announce that I am leaving the Kinsuki Talent Agency and disassociating myself from all Kinsuki Kai affiliates.
Tetsuya is lying on the ground next to Mifune, wounded but alive. It is not that Ifidya intended to spare him. Indeed, Mifune wanted to put an end to this quickly many times, only to be forced back by the suicidal attacks of the young Oni, who seemed to be intentionally aiming himself at the tip of Mifune's sword, just to find a chance to take Mifune down with him. Momoka's speech coming through the screen beside him only served as a further distraction, and his trembling hands repeatedly missed their mark. Even as Mifune changed his goal from killing to incapacitation, and then to simply shaking off this manic in order to deal with the fallout, Tetsuya kept getting up from the ground, in spite of all of his injuries. Meanwhile, Momoka's speech is drawing to a close.
I will continue to walk the performer's path as long as I live. I want to bring hope to others and tell those plagued by fear that there is someone who was once just like you, someone who knows how you feel. She will sing your story, act your story. She will do all that she can so that your voices will not fade into darkness.
Momoka wipes away a drop of sweat from her brow.
Wow, I really said a lot, didn't I? You know, I'm starting to get cold feet now after having said all that. I'm really timid after all. Maybe the Kaidan aren't the only lies in our lives. Maybe there are countless more lies like theirs, and the prosperity that we enjoy is built upon these lies.
What is that bitch babbling about? She doesn't know that everything is built upon faith. She doesn't know that if panic spreads...
But this is our life, and it will continue until the end arrives. If it arrives. Even if it is built upon lies, upon bubbles that might shatter tomorrow, it's still our life. A life that I have to learn to love. Besides, even if a life like this is destined to disappear someday, it's beautiful, isn't it? An instant of beauty will be the warmth that stays with us throughout the cold night, even after everything else falls apart, as long as we keep it in our hearts. That's all I want to say. This has been Momoka Hanyu, and I apologize for taking up your valuable time. Perhaps... no, we will meet again.
There is no longer any possibility of turning the tables. Dividia stares blankly at the figure on the screen. Oh, you gone up again. Shall we continue? The bitch is done babbling. You can try to take revenge for your pop now again. The young Oni sets his unsteady feet. Dividia has collected himself, and identifies an opening that will let him put his sword right through the ribs of the Oni when he makes his move. But the Oni does not move. Are you scared? No. But even a fool like me can tell that you're finished. Tetsuya turns around. Mifune's face is ghastly pale, but he does not make a move. I'm showing my back to you. Aren't you going to kill me? Not in the mood. There are plenty of other people I want to kill first. I'll come and find you when they're all dead. Oh, and one more thing. Mifune stares at Tetsuya's back. Suddenly, he blurts out a sentence that even he himself is unsure why he says it. The words that I said to your father, they were actually for you. Tetsuya cannot tell if these words are meant to provoke or to accomplish something else. He turns and casts one glare at Mifune with bloodshot eyes, before leaving with unsteady steps. Everything feels so surreal, like a dream. After finishing her speech, she fainted on stage out of excitement. Everything that happened next was like a blur. In any case, Hoshiguma went upstairs, while Moriuchi, Kichise, and Sarasa took her downstairs. She seems to remember fighting and explosions, but it all felt so far away.
Where are we? Kijise? Moriuchi-san? Sarasa? Why is Sarasa on the ground? She's asleep? She fell asleep in the TV station too. Does she get tired easy? No time for this. It's my turn to carry her now.
Where are you, Momoka? Where's Sarasa? Did you get lost in the alleys?
I'm...
Gotcha. I got her on my own. I might get promoted for this. Good thing I had duct tape on me. She's a singer, who knows how loud she can get when she hollers. I dreamt about ninjutsu items before I became a ninja, but it's only the veterans who get to use the good stuff, while all I have is trash. Gotta report this upstairs. I forgot to discharge my terminal so I could enjoy an afternoon of peace and quiet in one of the coffee shops in the alley. And this girl just falls into my hands like that. It's definitely my lucky day. Where's my Originium Circuit Yorugan?
The ninja takes out the Originium Circuit Yorugan, a spherical Originium appliance with a long wire attached to it, which he connects to the depleted terminal.
It's charging slowly. Hey, how about I pull that tape off your mouth and you sing a song or two for me? Well, it's not like I would do it, even if you know that. Did you know? We were looking for you everywhere after you ran away on that motorbike that night. I was the one who searched your house. Boy, was that a crappy place. Big idol like you, I thought you'd be living in a mansion or something, but you didn't have anything worth shit. What's with the collection of garbage by a window anyway? Some kind of weird obsession?
Say that again!
The tape came loose? I thought I put it on right. Who cares? Just a frail little idol. I'll tell you, not only did I have to check all that weird garbage you had by the window one by one, I also trimmed that dying plant for you.
You got Husky?
Husky? Oh, that's the tree sprout. The tree sprout was barely even a weed. Yeah, I did it. What about it? How did you even take care of it? I have no idea, because its leaves are all yellow and brittle. No way it was gonna live, so I put it out of its misery. It was a kindness. I've grown flowers before, and it takes patience and endless love and care. You understand? Someone like you. Hey, how did you get up? What kind of crappy duct tape was that? I see, you must know some sort of arts. You're eager, so I guess it's about water? That's it, of course, the one that the tape came loose. But did the vet say that only the infected could use arts without a unit? That's weird. You couldn't have broken the tape with brute force, could you? Nah, of course not. I doubt you ever lifted anything heavier than an apple. Must be arts, definitely. So what? What are you gonna do? Spray water in my face?
The novice ninja taunts Momoka, but he keeps his gaze fixed on her eyes. A cornered beast will fight back, and the same is true for the girl in front of him. What kind of arts will she use? Mist? A high-pressure jet? Acid spray even? He must not let his guard down just because he is facing an idol with no combat experience. It is unlikely that her arts would be particularly powerful, and there would be little movement from her microphone-shaped arts unit when she casts. Better to stay focused on her eyes. Her eyes will betray all that she is thinking. For example, murderous intent. Foolish girl, not knowing her place. But that is all. Observe her eyes and analyze her intent. Be it the timing of casting, direction, or Why is there no intent other than murder? Before he can react, the ninja feels a dull thud on his head.
You hit me on the head with your mic? What kind of arts is...
Murder! Beast! Heartless devil! This is for Hasuke!
Wait! Calm down!
No, I will not! It wasn't dead yet! How could you? How could you cut my Hasuke?
Momoka babbles her incoherent, vengeful fury, a far cry from the image that she presented on stage just moments ago. Her microphone finds the ninja again and again, striking with a fury that even hell does not know.
Stop!
I will kill you, you bastard! I will beat this heartless monster to death!
Momoka? What are you doing?
I'm killing the bastard who killed my Hasuke! I will rip him from limb to limb! So you're fine? I'm fine! I'm very fine! I'm gonna beat this asshole into a pulp! Momoka, calm down. He's not worth it. We gotta get out of here.
The rain of blows finally comes to an end, as footsteps fade into the distance. That other voice must have belonged to Kichise, the one who was with Momoka. Yes, it was Kichise who took Momoka away. It must be her. Thank you, Kichise. You're my lucky star. The novice ninja gives Kichise his most sincere gratitude before passing out. Not that he is in any condition to verbalize it. I've been waiting for you. No one can stop you even after all these years.
Quit posturing. Your men have already scattered. I strolled right on in here.
What business does the Aoni of Kintsugi-kai have with a man who's already finished? If you came to take revenge for yourself and Tessai, all you need to do is draw your sword. Hoshiguma shakes her head.
Your crimes have been exposed in your own TV station. Your diet member upstairs won't help you now, no matter how much bribe money he got from you. How he may try to cover up his ill-gotten gains is none of my business. It's enough for me that justice will be served for the people you actually killed.
You almost sound like a cop.
Yeah, I've been working for the Lungmen police force.
Are you serious?
Yes, I am.
I want to laugh, but I'm not quite in the mood tonight. And I thought the LGD was just a gimmick.
I only came to do what I should have done when I took that step 20 years ago. I came to cut my last ties to Higashi.
And how do you intend to do that? You can't cut yourself off from your past. Karma and fate will always follow you. You could put them in chains, lock them in boxes, but they will escape when you're least prepared and tear everything into pieces. The only thing you can cut is my throat, and it would be nothing more than a formality if you did so. Nothing more than venting your anger.
Yeah, formality. There's nothing I want from you or Mitsukue. All I want is a formality. A letter of excommunication. Tell all of Mitsukue that Hoshiguma no longer has anything to do with Mitsukue, the Kintsugi-kai, or the Aoni of Kaidan.
The Dolphinia blinks, then begins laughing wryly. I see, Lungman has indeed turned you into a cop, through and through. But I refuse. We have a better way of disassociating someone. Cross swords with me, rebel against the Oyabun of the Kintsugi-kai, and there will be no room left for the Kintsugi-kai to treat you as one of us, no matter which one of us falls.
Do we really have to do this?
This is the true meaning of finishing unfinished business from 20 years ago. It's just... Mifune casts a glance around his office. I rather like this place, and it would be a shame if a mess was made of it. Let's go somewhere else.
Where?
Kajimachi.
You've razed it to the ground.
Our memories remain, don't they?
You're one twisted bastard.
Let's go. Maybe we'll even catch the end of the fireworks show.
Everyone, 無事で戻るぞ。覚悟はいいか？私が本気を出したら少々荒れるぞ。天気がいいね。
みんなで楽しく花札したいのに、なんでいつも邪魔者が来るんやろな。
ここからは一歩も引かない。まずはこのコートを撃ち落とせるかやってみて。
私、目を大きく開けたままでいる努力はするから。
一番危険な戦場はどこだ？犯人、奴らを押しつぶせ。
リラックスして、リラックス。
やんちゃなお客さんやお客さんとちゃうか。
アイドルのイメージ？今そんなのどうでもいい。
降るあがに積もる恨みの落ち葉なく、引きずるいろはの赤。花に酔えり羽織り着て刀刺す女。ハニー、お前の父がこの怒りの炎に今こそ震え。宝石に刻む戒名はもう決まったか。
適当にぶっ放しても当たんだよね。
花に酔えり羽織り着て刀刺す女。
私なら道連れにしてやる。
みんなで楽しく花札したいのに、なんでいつも邪魔者が来るんやろな。
急ぐことはないよ。4人の道は組んでいるから。お前に来るあらぬ、積もる恨みの落ち葉なく、引きずるいろはの赤。
渓谷に降る周囲に清少は揺るがす。やんちゃなお客さんやお客さんとちゃうか。お引き取りしてもらおうか。
アイドルのイメージ？今そんなのどうでもいい。
No, Madam Oni. I can't let you go any further.
I have to save him.
Madam Oni!
There is no time. I'll only say once more. Get out of my way.
Are you really Madam Oni? Is there any humanity left in you?
Why wouldn't I be, Madam Oni?
Shuji is dead! You killed him!
Shuji?
You're not Madam Oni anymore. You're just an Oni. A vicious Oni. Even a... You would kill the brother you drank at the same table with, and you wouldn't even hesitate, as long as we're in your way. Will you kill me too, vicious Oni?
Out of the way, Kotaro. I can't turn back. I must stop Kinbi no matter what.
Vicious Oni!
She instinctively raises her sword, pointing it in front of her. The man charges towards her, but the sword goes through his chest, as though he has intentionally impaled himself upon it. Did he do it on purpose, or did she parry his blade, then?
Vicious Oni. Go to hell.
Vicious Oni? Am I a vicious Oni? Oni?
Blood fills her eyes, blinding her. She will cut down anyone who charges at her. She will strike back at any weapon that strikes at her. More cries, the sound of weapons cutting through the night, discombobulated sounds that blend into a single lump in her chest, beating with her heart, pulsing, until it fully synchronizes with her heartbeat, drowning out all other sounds. In the bloody haze, the vicious Oni keeps walking and killing, leaving behind a trail of blood and bodies, until she reaches the run-down shack and kicks the door open. There is no sound there. The vicious Oni stands at the door, cocking her head, as though she is listening for some kind of sound coming from the hall that humans cannot hear, until she hears a trembling voice.
Dead.
Who's dead?
The diet candidate is dead.
The diet candidate is dead. The cries fade. The sound of weapons cutting through air fades. The sound of heartbeat fades. All the sounds grow distant and fade. Only the voices from hell echo by her ear, clearer than ever. Oni. Vicious Oni. Go to hell. This place. I picked this empty lot by the riverbank rather than those ruins along the way, so I won't be distracted by the memories. No need to thank me. Good timing too. The fireworks show isn't over yet. What, getting cold feet now?
No. I just wanted to clear up everything before we started fighting.
What else isn't clear?
Only one thing. Where did your hatred come from? I ran into Tetsuya at the TV station and heard from him what happened when Uncle Tessai died. You didn't have to be so cruel. I didn't know how he treated you all these years, but he must not have seen you as an adversary if you got so far as to turn him into a figurehead. Besides, I didn't think I did you any wrong. When I came back to Mitsukue, all I wanted was to make sure that my sacrifice was meaningless.
Sacrifice?
That's why you make me sick, you and Tessai. You're a fool, and he's an even bigger fool. Even if you really did accidentally kill the candidate, did you think he wouldn't know to frame me for it, since I was there too? He favored you, so I kept waiting for the day when he would make me take responsibility for the murder. It would have been the best result. He would protect his favorite, while eliminating a subordinate who had been going over his head. As for that little thing about killing one's brothers, what does it matter? You will be foolish enough to speak up with Hanyaa in your hand and his support behind you. But he chose to cut ties with his favorites, choosing honor over family. How sickening. Did he really not know that the Oyabun of the Kintsugi Kai was the furthest thing from honor? Or did he just pretend not to know? Honor is a personal thing. When a group of people start acting in the name of honor, they'll either fall apart, or they'll just drags of society fooling themselves. Tessai always liked to boast, talking about how Yakuza were pathetic outcasts that could only live under the protection of the syndicate. Retired veterans, hoodlums, gamblers, peddlers, orphans. Tessai united them under the banner of Kintsugi Kai, hoping they would love each other like family. Forget everything before that night for a moment and let's just talk about what happened after the diet candidate's death. Shimasu tried to blackmail me, Gora tried to undermine me, and Sonoguchi tried to exclude me as he once excluded you. Family. Nothing more than old Tessai's pipe dream. Besides, is it anything more than just an excuse for one's failure to fit into society? What do you say, Officer Hoshiguma? If what he said was true, then what are you? And what am I?
If this is your idea of fitting into society, I'm glad I was the one who took responsibility.
Finally! You're making sense, Officer Hoshiguma. You have no idea how lucky you are. You took responsibility and left. I chose silence and stayed, cleaning up the mess that you and Tessai left behind. Are the public up in arms about the Yakuza killing a diet candidate? Then spend money, build industries, and tread on your own dignity to butter up real diet members. Getting hit by TV reports? Build your own media through crystalline industry and change the image of the Yakuza. People starting to have designs on your burgeoning industry? Set your pride aside and cling to the people who have the most use of you. Run into someone that you can't soothe over. Then there's no choice. Eliminate them.
And you're complaining about it? Didn't you choose it yourself?
Yes, I chose it. I let my own weakness shut my own mouth that night.
You chose the twisted path of shame and guilty conscience.
Guilty conscience? Don't make me laugh, Officer Hoshiguma. The path I chose showed just how incompetent Tessai was, how hypocritical his honor was, and how close his Kintsugi Kai was to destruction. He was an incompetent, blind shogi player who began to abandon piece after piece for his precious Kintsugi Kai as changing times threatened to checkmate it. Your incident was just the beginning. The concept of diet had just emerged, and he had already abandoned you. When the relationship between North and South was at its most delicate, he was foolish enough to buy weapons from Northern Court factions, just to destroy a gang that was acting out of line in his eyes, one that had better weapons than the Kintsugi Kai. He didn't even have that much of a grudge against them, other than the fact that they had once harbored the wandering vicious Oni who killed his family. Ostensibly, he was taking revenge for his wife and son, and took what came of it. He abandoned Tetsuya's mother and turned Tetsuya against him. As for me, how many times would he have abandoned me, but for the fact that this lieutenant of his never believed in his honor office for even a moment. I was proven right, time and again. He is no more than a pawn and thinks himself a king, charging blindly into the fray. Did he think promotion awaited? No, everyone else, friend or foe, was walking in the opposite direction. There is nothing but a dead end awaiting him at the end of the road. I'll back the tide for that fool, clean up his mess, all the while getting walked all over by him. I would rather you had killed me in your madness that night! Happy now? Is that enough reason for you to bring your sword or shield to bear?
I only have one question. Are you putting on an act?
An act?
I agree that he could have reinforced his position by putting the blame on you. I can understand why you say that the Oyabun of the Kinsekikai is the furthest from honor. I believe you when you say you stemmed the tide of the Kinsekikai's destruction, and that you are angry at Uncle Tessai for being in the way.
Then what do you want to say?
I just don't know what to think anymore. It was you who brought me back to Kajimachi. It was you who tried to make me lose my reason and eliminate me once and for all. It was you who earned Tetsuya's fervent loyalty. It was you who made him witness his own father's death at your hands. It was you who cut off your own finger in front of Uncle Tessai. It was you who cursed his incompetence, even unto his death. Your analysis was very clear, very rational. I fully understood what you were saying and how you got to this point. But the clearer and more rational it is, the less I could believe it. Is this really you? Or is this all one final act of madness, written and directed by yourself, so that I would believe that this is the kind of person you are? Uncle Tessa said you were faking it when you cut off your little finger that day in Kajimachi. I didn't believe it. But now, I really want to know. How many fingers are there under your left glove?
Dividia freezes. He stares into Hoshiguma's eyes, as though waiting for her to avert her gaze. Realizing that it is pointless, he snorts and displays his left hand in front of him, before slowly removing his glove. A little finger made of machinery rather than flesh and blood trembles where the pinky should be. I want to tell you that the little finger I cut off had been with me for decades, but you wouldn't believe it, would you? Very good, very good.
Of all the things you said, there is only one that has a little bit of value. Honor is a personal thing.
Are you done?
Yeah. If you've got any men hiding out here, now would be a good time to holler for them.
There's only me. No one in hiding. No traps. No tricks.
Is the life of a media mogul, a politician's favorite, the Oyabun of the Kinsekikai, something to be taken so lightly?
Mogul? Not for long. Politician? You made sure to put an end to that personally. Oyabun of the Kinsekikai. Remind me who crashed the accession ceremony again. If you think I've been acting, congratulations, because I'm tired of it. I'm just a Yakuza. A Yakuza backed into a corner. If that's the only death I can have, then I would have a clean death. A beautiful death.
Even if everything you've done up until this point was one big pile of dishonor?
I'm not talking about honor. That rusty piece of trash floating around your and Tessai's heads. I'm talking about beauty. What's about to happen may not compare to making a son watch his father die for him, but you cannot deny. There's a beauty to a duel by the riverside, under the fireworks, the blood spilling on the banks, perhaps even a head flying into the air. Don't worry, Hoshiguma. In the event that I am not the one who dies, I'll admit that you wrote a beautiful ending for yourself as a Yakuza.
I don't need it. I'm fighting you for only one reason. to cut my last ties with you, with the Kintsugi Kai, with Mitsukue, and with Higashi.
Suit yourself. But how should I sing the song of your death in the event that it happens? Who did I kill? An Oni?
An Oni. An Oni who has lost her home forever.
Mifune says no more. He pulls his long sword, which seems far too long for most men, but just right for him. The blade is sharp as snow, but hidden in the night, a summer frost that should not be, that could fade away any moment. I had a thought, Hoshiguma. The pompousness that had filled his voice up until this point is completely gone. When we were young, Tessai took us to watch the snow, here by this very riverside.
I remember.
He said, don't look down on yourself just because you're Yakuza. He said, we're descendants of warriors. He said generations after generations of samurai, since Shikikazu, Onishobo, have given their lives for loyalty and righteousness, and we are their legacy. He said that even without noble status, without power, without a liege to serve, even without the bloodline of warriors, loyalty and righteousness never die. The warrior spirit never dies. Jinki, Ninkyo, honor in all its names. The warrior spirit lives on, even if it has fallen on hard times, even if it has become distorted, even if it has taken on many different names, even if no bonds of blood tie us. He was spewing nonsense, wasn't he? It was all an act, wasn't it? Mifune stares straight into Hoshiguma's eyes. You don't know the answer.
There's only one thing that I know. Someone you hated so much would never put on an act for you.
Sure enough. You trusted him, and I trust you. I believe you when you say that Tessai didn't lie to me. I believe that we're the last descendants of warriors. Here, in Nanin Anzai, Mitsukue Yashiro. As for the true blue-blooded warriors, whose emblems are passed on from generation to generation, I suppose they're all speculating in real estate right now. Kimbi sneers. Opposite him, the blue flames of rage burn brightly around Hoshiguma. No longer does it burn for Kinbi, but bright it burns, almost burning through the brightly suffocating night of Mitsukue. And then, in the blink of an eye, it is over. The two stand with their backs towards each other, having swapped places in the exchange. Hoshiguma returns their sword to its sheath. Kimbi's figure drops lower and lower, until he falls to the ground, no longer able to stand. You're not injured at all.
I have a slight cut on my face.
What about me? I can feel myself bleeding, Hoshiguma, but I don't want to look. Tell me, how much time do I have left?
I don't know. I think there'll be someone here soon after I leave. I think you'll live a pretty long time.
Why didn't you kill me?
You and I, we have nothing to do with each other anymore. There will be other people to judge you for Uncle Tessai and Momoka.
After all these years, at the end of it all, you won.
No, I lost. Completely.
You hate the way of this city so very much.
I just don't recognize it anymore. It's no longer my home. That's all. Sayonara. We won't meet again.
Hoshiguma turns and walks towards the ruins of Kajimachi. Lying on the ground, Kimbi casts his eyes towards the other side of the river, as he feels the cold of his own blood leaving his body. The noise and commotion look down coldly on the empty shores on this side, which will soon become much shinier and brighter. The one-horned Oni walks past the ruins of old buildings, past the indifferent bustle of the entertainment district, past the foe who had crossed swords with her a moment ago, and into the glaring dark night. A cool breeze blows from behind, bringing fresh liberation and sounds that do not belong to the present. Going to the summer fair with her father, and the unscrupulous yatai owner giving her a net made of the flimsiest paper for scooping fins. That summer night after her father's passing, she licked the apple candy Tessai gave her that did not seem right for her age. The throwing rings that seemed too juvenile for her, but which could never seem to hit their mark, as though they were imbued with some sort of arts. Going to the shooting stall with a Holy City of Laterano sign that only had cheap stuff, after getting drunk with the Kintsugi Kai brothers. She takes one step after another towards these scenes of Higashini's summer nights. But they are ghosts of the past, brushing by her, fading into the distance, like the one she has defeated. And the fireworks. Yes, the fireworks of Higashi's summer nights, which she may never have a chance to see again.
So, you didn't see any of the fireworks at all? Basically. What? You missed the entire fireworks show? Yeah. That's such a shame. Well, at least you'll see this. I couldn't find any fireworks that nice. All I found on Nita Street was small stuff like this. Don't be sad, okay? Why would I be sad? I'm so relieved to hear that.
A surprise encounter with someone wearing a surprising smile on her face and carrying a surprising gift. Hoshiguma feels tears coming to her eyes. The tiny fireworks in front of her seem brighter than the rest of the city combined.
It's beautiful. Fleeting, but beautiful. Where are the others? Kichise, Sarasa, Moriuchi, and Tetsuya? Kichise and Moriuchi are being questioned by the tired-looking cop. They should be coming out soon. Sarasa suddenly fell asleep 1 block before he ran into the cops. She told us to just leave her there. By the time I talked to the cops and went back for her, she was nowhere to be seen. As for Tetsuya, I have no idea. Oh, we should at least let the police know that Kimbi's still lying on the riverbank, and someone should go and get him. They're already headed over. There you are! What are you doing? Hosting your own fireworks show?
Looks like it.
We have someone here who missed the entire thing after all. Gonna make it up to her somehow.
This is... Kami-sama?
What's the matter, Hoshiguma? Did something happen?
No, nothing. Just imagining things. It seems that Ikami smiled at her. Or perhaps it has always been smiling. The figure begins to fade, and the firework that Momoka is holding is close to going out. The last sparks fade into the darkness. Alright, before I say anything here, because there was a lot on this stage, we have 3 new enemies to introduce here. One that I skipped from earlier, from one of the earlier stages, called the Suto Ninja, and it says, a ninja who can spin in place for a long time. He claims that there is water surrounding him. Your vision is just too poor to see it. Never stop spinning unless tripped. Good for him, he has peak vision apparently. Then we have Mio. Mio, by the way, you can also fight on the previous stage to this one, on stage number 7, but I want to include her rather here than on the previous stage, considering we have pretty much a double boss here. But anyway, Mio. Drive out Oni and you drive out dreams. Welcome in curses and you welcome in kindness. Ask not of right or wrong, or good and evil. She simply draws her sword in silence. That description fits this character so perfectly, if you ask me. And of course we have Kohei Mifune. His sword speaks none of honor or loyalty, only the obsession to cut away all obstacles in the way of the tide, even if he himself is destined to become a nameless bubble within before the end. Rip, my guy. Also, justice for Hasuke, justice were done for the plant. Holy crash out, Momoka. My god. Considering that they brought up the concept of Chekhov's gun in the previous part when we covered the story, yeah, very funny, very funny. They brought the plant back and they brought the guy in who killed the plant. Such a lazy asshole as well for a ninja. The guy literally snuck away to be by himself and not be disturbed by anybody, and then he stumbled into the biggest puddle that he could have stumbled into. I will believe that Momoka literally, through sheer force and anger, broke whatever amount of duct tape the guy placed on her hands. She was about to actually kill the guy. Kichisei really saved the guy's life. But yeah, and then we have the whole showdown between Hoshiguma and Mifune, and that was pretty epic. Again, Mifune, and I said this before, and I'm probably gonna say it again anyway in the outro where I'm gonna talk about the story, but Mifune is really not someone you can just hate like that. He has something to him that just doesn't really make you hate him all that much. Well, hate completely. You kind of have to respect the guy in a weird sense. I don't know. There is something that it doesn't make me just completely just go down the route of, oh, just remove this guy. No, here's a very compelling villain, and we'll learn a tiny bit more in a second about him as well. But very, very, very good villain, honestly, for this story and the whole shit that was happening. And yeah, as an opponent for Hoshiguma as well. But yeah, that clash was very well done. Very well done for what they can do with this game when it comes to animations and so on. I do like the little ending there, right at the end of the final bit of the cutscene, where Hoshiguma, Momoka, and the others are just hanging out and having some fun with sparklers, essentially. I do like that the pink dog Okami appeared, who was, if I remember correctly, supposed to be a kami for good relationships. And if he appears in front of someone, that just means good vibes for that person or those people who see him. Very interesting that only Hoshiguma saw him. But, well, I guess from now on, thanks to the kami, we can, I guess, ship Hoshiguma and Momoka. That was kind of very funny and appropriate that that happened there at the end there. But yeah, Very nice, very nice. But we have one more cutscene to finish this whole thing off, so let's proceed to ATST 3 titled Wayfarer. She is a wayfarer at home. She has found her home as a wayfarer.
Really? She wrote just one line? What would I get from lying to you? I have it right here, if you want to read it yourself. Nizeklan Tan Mao. I heard you pissed Nianji off so bad that he just up and Zao Mai. That's it. Not even a sign off. You found it funny? One, I didn't know she was capable of pulling off a cursive script when speedwriting. 2. Did you not set the record straight after she personally slapped this letter onto your head, Commissioner Swire? Stinky rat! Do you think I would have come looking for you if she weren't avoiding me like the plague? You didn't have to. The less we see each other, the better. You! I hereby declare this last thimble in your bowl is now mine. Go ahead. Consider it consolation for my inaccurate assumption. You really love to understate things, don't you? How would you want me to phrase it then? You clashed head-on with your grandfather in New Siesta. Can't say I falsely accuse you of that, can you? Though you think I should go have a chat with Hoshiguma? You should, but it's not appropriate for you to do so. I know, she's been avoiding me, and only calls me by my official title when she has to. But I'm sure we haven't become estranged or anything like that. After all, she needs to keep a low profile and avoid rousing any suspicion after all that's happened. Plus, she misunderstood me and is kind of awkward about it now. And one of her elders had passed too. She's not that sensitive. Really? I feel she can be quite sentimental sometimes. Well, not really, how do I describe that? Wait for Shen Hishi to come back, and maybe she can help you brainstorm your answer. Though what I mean is her current behavior might not be from overthinking. She's merely trying to mess with you. So low is you, stinking rat. We're thick as thieves, Hoshiguma and I, but she's not one bit as cunning and petty as you. I appreciate the compliment. Thank you for the omiyage, Inspector Hoshiguma. No thanks necessary. While you were in Higashi, I happened to visit the Jiangchi Jianbing shop quite a few times and began to enjoy the taste of scallion. I heard you encountered many unpleasant events in Mitsukue. I'm touched you still bothered to bring something back for me after all that. It's what I ought to do anyways. Besides, I did stir up quite a ruckus in Mitsukue. I'd be sorry if the mess had affected you, Mr. Wei, or even Lungman. Not at all. What I've heard people talk about is your wisdom and courage. You not only cleared your own name, but also avenged Tessai-san, who was as a father to you. That Kimbi was never a good man. It was only natural for him to be arrested and put on trial. Fortunate for him that you have a good heart and didn't take his head. I still have a question for you. No need for formalities, just ask. You weren't this shy last time, when I was riding a little fast and you sideswiped me to force me to slow down. Actually, ever since I came back from Mitsukue, I've been thinking. Lungmen and Mitsukue, what is the difference between the two? How can I declare myself a Lungmenite with no hesitation, but I can't seem to consider Mitsukue my home any longer? Because Mr. Lin manages the triads well? Because Lungmen has no so-called kami? No, that can't be it. Hoshiguma, the most important thing in a city is the people. Real, living residents. People have dreams, and the dreams determine what sort of stories will happen within the boundaries of the city. You mean... Lungmen has long since awoken from the dream Mitsukue is still in. Fortunately, you managed to make some good friends over there. They're probably the best part of my experience in Mitsukue. Isn't that good enough? I have a bizarre story to share with you too, Inspector.
What is it?
I have heard that near to Mitsukue in Himeda City, a young Yokaku has appeared. He keeps his face hidden, and though his swordplay isn't stellar, he still manages to overpower his enemies with just a bokuto in hand. This young man, who seemed ordinary, eliminated a gang that had been committing fraud in the city for years. According to him, he walked all the way from Mitsukue to Himeda and would rest no more than a few days before embarking for the next city.
I hope his journey goes well.
One more thing, which isn't as strange, but it has something to do with you. A police officer dismissed from his post in Mitsukue is now planning to run for diet office.
You think the old cop will make it?
Odds are 99% no. But should one just quit simply because it's difficult to achieve?
True.
Alright, that's enough chatting for today. And we're pretty much done with the Jiangbing too. Time for the next round to begin.
I did notice you've switched to a new ride today, but my old pal won't give in without a fight.
I didn't expect the pressure to settle in even before I start my engine, Inspector. Could it be your attire today?
30% maybe. Here, Chikuwa, daikon, and burn beast tendon. How's the talent agency stuff going? Good?
Good and bad, but it's coming along nonetheless.
I'm glad to hear that. You cried so much when Hoshiguma left, I thought you'd leave Mitsukue for Lungmen too.
I wasn't that down bad. Hoshiguma had her reasons to go, and I have my reasons to stay.
Momoka-san, I see you have already gained the air of a professional negotiator, and in such a short time.
Save it. Oh, it's hot.
Easy, there's no need to rush.
It's hot, but it tastes so good. You know, I might have leave the city for a bit.
Going to that Rhodes Island Hoshiguma mentioned?
That's right. I know the Momoka name is already bound tight to me down to my bones, but I still think maybe in a place where no one knows Momoka Hanyu, Haruka Shino could live a little life of her own.
Hoshiguma will recognize you at least.
Don't cut in! I'm being serious!
Alright, who knows? I might visit too and make a few more friends myself.
Moriyuchi-san, how long do you think we can live like this?
What's with the sudden topic change? I don't know, I don't really get what you mean.
I can't explain it, but I feel like days like these are numbered.
No, I'm more confused.
I mean, how do I put it? Nita Street is full of people every night. The skyscrapers in Kajimachi are almost finished. I walk down the street and 9 out of 10 people are talking about how housing prices are gonna go through the roof. All my shows have sold out in a single night, and I shake hands with fans until I grow calluses on my palms. But I get a feeling this will all come to an end pretty soon.
What do you mean? War? An attack from the Northern Court?
They might not have to make the first move. They might, be drawn into this by us. Oh, someone's calling.
Business?
No, it's Kichise.
Momoka, big news!
What is it? Did the real estate market crash?
Huh? You still asleep? Didn't that new project hit a fresh high today? How could it crash? It's about Sarasa.
Sarasa? Didn't she leave Mitsukue soon after Tetsuya?
She sent me a letter with her family crest on it. It's the Nishigori's.
The Nishigori clan? From the Northern Court's 4 great clans?
She said she had fun in Mitsukue, but the noise we made might have been a bit too loud, so she went back to Kusarikawa to hide from her family for a bit. Said she'd come back to look for us once it's safer. How's that for big news?
That's pretty big. Pretty big, yeah.
She mentioned you too, and said she knows you're starting a talent agency, and she'd join if it takes off.
My agency? To be an idol? The princess of the Nishigori clan?
Momoka, shh.
If there's nothing else.
There is no rush. Your work is consistent, more so than Mifune. The Kinsuki Kai are under you now, but the Kinsuki group remains a hot potato with few willing to take over. Have you any interest in picking up his scraps and giving the Kinsuki Kai another chance?
No, sir.
Indeed, picking up his legacy is rather easy in theory, but who knows how many hardships stand in the way. Do you intend to remain like this for the rest of your days? A gang leader for a group that has lost their home turf?
I'm just creating a home for people who fell off society's ladder and doing a bit of cleanup work. Besides, there is no way I can possibly drag this on forever if Mitsukue no longer needs the Kinsuki Kai. I've had enough of both the Kinsuki Kai and the Kinsuki group. I came here today to not only fulfill Mifune-san's promise to you, but to also inform you. I have tried my best to deal with the Kinsuki Kai's aftermath, and now I bid my farewell.
You've made up your mind, so I won't insist on changing it.
Good. Excuse me.
Alas, a beautiful face, but a heart icier than the fields of Ursus. I was trying to be kind, but she just wouldn't appreciate it. How rare. Forget it. Let's take a look at the goods. The paunchy diet member stands up in the luxurious reception room and walks toward a small door at the back. Shockingly, the room past the door holds no confidential documents or precious metals. Bereft of even entertainment facilities, it merely looks like a simple, sloppy room of a local, other than the old pachinko machine in the center of the room. Having escaped destruction in Kajimachi, it is now connected to a dedicated circuit, emitting light and distorted music. The diet member, who appeared quite dignified earlier, is jumping at a chance to have a try at the machine. He lifts a huge basket of pachinko balls from the ground. Right before he inserts them into the machine, a voice sounds from behind it.
Got your wish?
Yes, Kami-sama! Thank you for your blessings! I'm finally content! Thank you for showing up at my humble home after so long. You stayed with me for so many years, but suddenly vanished the other day, and I was so worried. I thought you had abandoned me. Oh, happy returns. The Kami swiftly pounces onto the top of the machine.
All that trouble just for this machine?
Sure enough. I mean, I wouldn't have achieved all of this without this machine. All thanks to your blessings.
I don't remember ever blessing you with anything.
Even if you didn't help me in recent years, your aid from 20 years ago was enough for the rest of my life.
That again?
Indeed. The incident that turned me from a useless drag into an impressive member of society.
I told you before, that had nothing to do with me either.
I don't believe you. Think about it. What sort of loser was I back then? A jobless hikikomori unwilling to study or work. To borrow a trendy word of today. Yes, a neat. Every day I begged my mother for a coin to get a few pachinko rounds in. If I won, I'd consider myself lucky that day, or unlucky otherwise. But that day my destiny changed. I saw you on the streets. I got nothing but wins that day. The pachinko balls flowed freely like water, and I even ran out of trays to carry them all.
And then?
Then Then I won a fortune big enough to start a business on Ita Street. They were just pachinko balls after all. There was no way I could win more than the house. But you showed up, and it proved to me I was no longer a loser. From that day on, I believe strongly I was blessed with fortune by you, looked after by Kami. Had I not gotten blessed by you, how could I have won so much at pachinko and used the earnings to speculate and profit till today?
I blessed you?
Of course! The past few days you were gone, yes? I went through so many hurdles. I asked that Kimbi to bring me back my pachinko machine. A simple job, no? But I couldn't give the order directly, so I said, take over Kajimachi, come up with a redevelopment plan, and bring back this pachinko machine on the way back. Because I have ties to it. And then everything went to shit. The Kajimachi gangs, the Lugman cop, and even Kimbi's own artist. What a mess it was. The machine was almost lost to the chaos too. It was a good enough. If something happened to this machine you blessed, at what point is there turning that piece of rotten land by the river into Mitsukue's commercial center? It's not just me, but the whole of Mitsukue too. All of Southern Court is under your watch, which is why we're developing so fast and how our property prices are soaring, right? The Northern Court bumpkins are scrunching up their faces in anger, but I can't do anything about the fact that you don't want to go over there. With you watching over us, we will surely improve for, A drop of sweat slides down his face, not from nervousness, but his passion has gotten him heated up. For, eternity! And Ikami looks down at him from the top of the machine. Down at this secretly purchased 30-floor high luxury apartment with VIP exclusive elevators. Down at the almost 100-meter high buildings, down at each clamor and chaos of Mitsukue. And then it speaks a line it was tired of repeating, yet rarely taken seriously.
What does any of that have to do with me?
The Kami jumps out of the tiny room, but the dead member who finally succumbed to his want for a pachinko game does not notice its exit. He will never see the Kami ever again after this day. How long have they been talking?
3 hours at least. And there's no signs it's ending. Can I go to the bathroom real quick?
Don't even think about running away. You do know that you caused a huge commotion in Mitsukue, attracting 2 of the 8 major family heads, and even nearly caused a dispute between the North and South, do you?
Forget about my old man. At least that old deer from the Kano can't do anything to you. You're a priest after all. Even if you're not one of the 8 great clans, your bloodline's pretty...
Enough! You may no longer want to live, but you shouldn't drag your friends down with you. You even sent them letters, saying you were planning to hide in Kusarikawa. They wouldn't be in danger right now if you weren't here, performing Dogeza.
Didn't you promise Momoka and the rest you'd risk your life to keep them safe? I'm sure you're a good man, so since you're so eager to help, I'm just going to the bathroom.
Enough praises. The Kano and Nishigori heads will be out here soon, and it'll all be fine if you stay. But if we run, huh. Are you hungry? I have some chikuwa here. You can have them if you want.
Arigato. Kanoshi-sama, I heard the shrine clergy mention you have a daughter?
Yes, I do. She's a little younger than you.
Are you as harsh with her as you were to me?
The priest is momentarily stunned, then looks at Sarasa as if she is a creature he cannot communicate with.
Me? Harsh with Lisa? What are you thinking?
I mean, didn't she run away like I did? I'm still in Higashi, but she ran all the way to Siracusa.
About that. Ingrid can explain the whole thing to you if you meet her. The door suddenly opens. Fortunately, Sarasa noticed earlier the flickering light coming from the door gap, and returns to her Dogaza pose right on time. The priest immediately catches on and straightens his back with head bowed, standing to the side. Now then, allow me to once again apologize to you and the Kano clan on behalf of the Nishigori clan. We are extremely sorry for the trouble caused by our failure to discipline our younger generation.
Please, there is no need to exaggerate. The important issues are all settled, and I would like to thank your daughter for providing this opportunity for us to hold this discussion in person. Mitsukue has an incompetent diet member who allows violent gangs to run rampant, and your daughter merely acted in the name of justice. What wrong has she committed? As for the Kami's whereabouts, if I may be so bold, I believe it is best to leave them to appear on their own terms for now.
The two clan leaders slowly stroll through the shrine's garden and towards the exits of the divine grounds, as if they have not noticed the two standing and kneeling behind them.
So, we're out of trouble?
Technically, yes. It's time to head home, Sarasa. The old Ager casually calls out as he stands under the torii gate. Sarasa freezes on the spot, her flushed cheeks from the joy of having gotten herself out of trouble turning pale. She raises her head to look up at the little patch of sky encircled by the shrine, closes her eyes and clenches her fists in a position where she believes her father cannot see. Then she puts on an obedient and emotionless expression as she follows her father's steps out of the shrine grounds. Well, welcome to the new lobby screen and music as well on top of it. Yeah, this appears when you completely beat the story and you're done, and it's sick. I like the turnaround as well from the first one where they were looking away from the camera and now they're looking at the camera. Very good shit. But yeah, anyway, that was a very interesting outro cutscene with a couple of very interesting elements. Number one being, or rather the first one, just to go in some order, I guess. One being that, yeah, the not Ina character, aka Sarasa, is an actual Ager. I was kind of starting to suspect that throughout the story because of those, because of something being lit up in her hair. She kind of reminded me of some deep sea fluorescent creature, so I was like, okay, she has to be an Ager. And yeah, she's an Ager. Apparently her father is one of the 8 heads of the families that are essentially in control of stuffing Higashi, which is crazy. The other minor thing, but I do like the way it was phrased. It's very funny. Momoka saying that she wasn't so down bad for Hoshiguma when she was leaving. What a sentence to say. Localization had a fun time with that one. Yeah, then the other thing being that the Kami that was talking to Moriuchi earlier in the story was actually his very own Kami that was talking to him. It wasn't, because I was starting to suspect, considering the other Kami appeared right after, that the other Kami was maybe just pretending to be the cat one. But no, the cat one was actually the cat one. She came to talk to her old friend and just say a proper goodbye between each other, I guess. But the big reveal about the story is that this whole shit, everything that happened in Kajimachi and the city itself was literally started from a diet member.
it literally started from the Diet member who was supporting Mifune, and the guy was literally just like, he could have literally told him, just get me my pachinko machine. But no, we had to do a bit of a roundabout thing of, just go and acquire the entire area of Kajimachi, and let's construct some new shit. The pachinko machine that he wanted was just a bonus on top of it. I mean, he would have probably gone for the whole shit anyway, so who knows. But what a dick! What an absolute dick! My god! Jesus, this whole shit started literally with him giving one single order to Mifune, and that set him down a spiral that not only led to Tessai dying, but many Yakuza getting into the crossfire, which, I mean, fine, they're Yakuza, but still at the same time, it led to a lot of shit. It led to a lot of shit. And a lot of people had to suffer. But yeah, also very interesting analogy there from Fumizuki about the difference between Lungmen and Higashi and the city we were in. Very interesting, just in general, how she sees Lungmen and everything. But yeah, very. And of course we leave on a cliffhanger of sorts. Not really a super strong cliffhanger, but definitely a cliffhanger of future potential playable character in Sarasa. I mean, Sarasa is definitely drawn in a sense of being a future playable character. No shot she won't be. Mio is kind of very close to it as well, but we'll see. But we have one more thing to do before we wrap up this whole thing, and I give you my final thoughts about the story. And that is Hoshiguma Alter's full file from start to finish, because that one will definitely hold some extra information that we have to go through. And then we can wrap it up. So, let's proceed. Alright, Hoshiguma the Breacher. Full file from the top. Let's go. Codename Hoshiguma, gender female, combat experience 25 years, place of birth Higashi, date of birth January 20th, very appropriate for this story and the time frame it came out, race Oni, height 184 centimeters, I'm still taller than you ma'am, infection status medicine tests have confirmed that no infection is present. Physical exam, physical strength, excellent, mobility standard, physical resilience outstanding, technical acumen, excellent, combat skill, excellent, originium, arts assimilation, normal. Profile: Hoshiguma, Chief of the LGD, Special Inspection Unit. She remains a defender operator of Rhodes Island, with no change in her main role. The extent of her combat experience has been amended in her records after she told the doctor about her early days in Higashi and gave permission for some parts of it to be communicated to us. Clinical analysis: imaging tests reveal normal outlines of internal organs and no abnormal shadows have been detected. Originium granules have not been detected in the circulatory system and there is no sign of infection. At this time, this operator is believed to be non-infected. Cellular originium assimilation 0%. Hoshiguma shows no signs of originium infection. Blood originium crystal density 0.13 units per liter. There is no significant change in Operator Hoshiguma's circumstances. Fluctuations are within normal boundaries. Continue to observe proper protection in everyday duties. Archive file number 1. After she returned from Higashi and before she took over the leadership of the LGD Special Inspection Unit, Hoshiguma's first visit back to Rhodes Island was greeted with a mob of questions from other operators who had worked with her before. Did you change your job, Hoshiguma? Operator Hoshiguma, Madam Oni? The misunderstanding was cleared up quickly. She came with Spire's permission and was here to sign a cooperation agreement with Rhodes Island on a personal basis. The LGD needed a channel of communications with Rhodes Island, and Hoshiguma was the best choice, given her new role as the SIU and what she had gone through with Rhodes Island together. Her outfit, her sword, and the rather changed appearance of Hanyaa had little to do with her new role. According to her, she had simply gone back to Mitsukue to get some stuff while Missy was on vacation in Siesta. As for avoiding suspicion, the pair certainly had more to keep in mind, but the unusual respect and solemnness that Hoshiguma showed when she saw Spire could not be explained with just avoiding suspicion. We eventually found out the reason in a chance encounter between the pair. You just wanted to see me feeling awkward, didn't you? It's not what you think, Missy. At least not entirely. Not entirely? Well, mostly not. That's a black mark on your record. No more vacations until you submit all the reports you have piled up. So yeah, Hoshiguma was playing a bit around with her. Anyway, archive file number 2. A subtle change seems to have come over Hoshiguma. She will do things that surprise others from time to time, such as openly making fun of Swire, clearly expressing her disapproval of Lungmen's less savory aspects, and on one occasion placing her hand on the shoulder of someone who was abusing a medic. She said nothing, just smiled, and the troublemaker left the ward without argument. The way she fights has changed as well. In addition to protecting more vulnerable comrades, she also charges into the fray, disintegrating enemy lines in a frenzied rampage. Some operators found Hoshiguma's new style to be terrifying at first, but they soon realized that she remains as protective as ever. She has never harmed a comrade in her rampages, and more importantly, remained the same Madame Oni even when it seemed she had lost all reason. Loyal, kind, a heavy drinker, as learned as she is strong. Classified log. There are many Higashinis accounts on how the Oni lose their reason in battle, cutting down anyone in their way, friend or foe. This perception is not unfounded. It is fundamentally the same as a vampire's affinity for blood or a cyclops' ability to foresee misfortune. Without a royal court, however, these powers were never properly studied and refined, and the Oni had to explore how to live with their nature on their own. It is said that the temples may have engaged in such research, but their legacy is not witchcraft, but wisdom and a unique faith. Without the presence of a royal court, however, the Oni were able to integrate themselves into Higashini society, making them unique amongst the Sarkas of Terra. Yes, the Oni are a branch of the Sarkas. For the people of Higashi, this is something that might never occur to them in their entire lives, but would feel entirely natural if someone pointed it out. Following customs, avoiding troubling others, blending in. This is the way of things in Higashi. Be it out of benevolence or some other reason, certain things are better left unsaid. This ambiguity gives the Oni a kind of protection. In accounts of long ago and a digest of records, they were known as Man Oni, mentioned alongside the Aegirian shark folk. Their stories of loyalty and mystique cannot be separated from Higashi without cutting off a big part of Higashini's tradition. That said, just because they are not outsiders does not mean there are no complaints about them. The popular conception of the Oni is one of anger and violence, and there are many stereotypes about them: barbaric, cunning, uncouth, corrupt, etc. These are often contradictory, and rarely mentioned within earshot of an Oni. The intercity net is another matter though. Mentioning such things on the intercity net is likely to incite an angry response. But one could always say, "Why are you so angry? Are you one of those rotten Oni too?" This was an excerpt from the essay collection of Gazes, written by a Victorian Sarkas living in Higashi. I wonder who that is actually, I have no idea, but very interesting. A Victorian Sarkas that lives in Higashi. Very specifically said there. Archive file number 3, from a volunteer-maintained encyclopedia. The first Kajimachi conflict. The first Kajimachi conflict refers a violent conflict that occurred in Kajimachi in 1073. Stragglers who remained in the Southern Court territory after the Blood Pig campaign attacked the Kinsekikai, attempting to take over Kajimachi. The Kinsekikai won a hard-fought victory, but the founding chairman of the Kinsekikai was killed in the struggle, along with the entire immediate family of Tessai, who was his chief lieutenant. After fending off the attacks, Tessai, and as the new chairman of the Kinsekikai, began hunting down those involved in the attacks, resulting in the largest and longest violent conflict in Mitsukue's history. Some see it as an act of revenge by Tessai for the killing of his family, while others see it as Tessai expanding his own influence. The second Kajimachi conflict refers to a series of murders, violent conflicts, and disappearances that occurred around Kajimachi in 1078. The first phase involved the killing of legislator candidate Shinjiro Koreto by the Kinsekikai and its subsequent internal conflict. The second phase involved the intensification of the Kinsekikai exclusion movement that Shinjiro Koreto had spearheaded, resulting in several conflicts between the Kinsekikai and nearby residents. The third phase involved the Kinsekikai's admission that Hoshiguma Wakagashira at that time had committed the murder and Hoshiguma's subsequent disappearance, with Kimbi Harada, later known as Kohei Mifune, then Wakagashira Hosa to the Kinsekikai second in command, bringing the events to a close by mediating between the Kinsekikai and nearby residents. Some believe that the aftermath of the conflict continues to this day, with Hoshiguma continuing to commit numerous murders in the shadows, but such claims lack evidence and conflict with police records and other verified sources. See also Kaidan of Mitsukue Taisha. The third Kajimachi conflict, Cached, refers to a series of attempted kidnappings, violent conflicts, murders, media manipulation, and assaults that occurred around Kajimachi and Nita Street in 1099. It began with the sudden reappearance of Hoshiguma, the former second in command of the Kinsekikai, who had gone missing after being suspected of murder, after the statute of limitations had passed. Her return triggered a violent struggle between Kohei Mifune, the Kinsekikai's de facto leader, and Tessai, the nominal chairman of the Kinsekikai, whose authority had long been undermined. The entertainer Momoka Hanyu was also known to be involved in the incident. Tessai was killed in the struggle, while Mifune was arrested. Hoshiguma voluntarily departed Mitsukue after reaching an agreement with Mitsukue police, and Momoka Hanyu departed the Kinseki Talent Agency to continue her activities independently. The incident also dispelled the myths around most of the kaidan of Mitsukue Taisha. Murder of the Kinsekikai chairman, active page. Redirected from the third Kajimachi conflict. The murder of the Kinsekikai chairman occurred in Kajimachi in 1099, when Kohei Mifune murdered Tessai, chairman of the Kinsekikai. Mifune, who had been in conflict with Tessai over the Kinsekikai's succession and future, humiliated Tessai, forced a crippling debt upon him, and murdered him at his own residence. Mifune was subsequently arrested by the police. This page is locked. Tessai. Tessai, born 1033. Oni, retired soldier and Mitsukue Taisha entrepreneur, second chairman of the Kinsekikai organization. This page is locked. Kohei Mifune, born 1045. Fidia, Mitsukue Taisha businessman and entrepreneur, member of the Kinsekikai organization. This page is locked. Hoshiguma? This page does not exist. Archive file number 4. Tessai's diary. Visited Haruji Arimagawa for the 5th time and concluded the transaction. I finally gained the secret scroll that his ancestor had obtained from the temples via less than scrupulous means. The paper is yellow and brittle, but the ink has not faded, and I was able to recognize part of the cursive script used. It appears authentic. More importantly, the Arimagawa clan is no longer the noble house that once claimed the position of High Minister. Haruji is merely an ordinary man making ends meet by selling off family possessions. He would not dare deceive me. It will not be long before I can no longer wield a hammer at the forge. I must personally oversee the production of crystalline components. It is not a task I can entrust to anyone else. Hoshiguma is not suited for it. Shimasu and Sanoguchi say they want to learn, but they are merely going through the motions. Kimbi has put in the work, but he has a long way to go. He will be a competent assistant for Hoshiguma when she takes over the position as chairman. Kimbi told me that Hoshiguma and Shimasu almost got into a fight. Fortunately, Hoshiguma was able to hold back. A feud between clan siblings would have to be dealt with according to the rules, and even Hoshiguma would be no exception. Regarding Hoshiguma, her father, the rest is scrolled out. The matter of the shield cannot wait. I have had a monk translate the scroll. Other than the scripture at the beginning, neither a preface nor a summary The rest is undoubtedly instructions for weapon crafting. Hanyaa. This word found in the beginning of the opening scripture has occupied my mind of late as I worked at the forge. The monk told me that Hanyaa was a wisdom that transcended the mortal realm and liberated one from all troubles, but he does not know why the word became the name of the terrifying face of Hanyaa. But it is that same face that always comes back to me whenever I swing my hammer. The rage as he draws his sword against Tetsuya, against Hoshiguma, against me. The fear as he fell to the ground. The despair in those last moments of lucidity, as he realized what he had done. I told Hoshiguma many times that the dastardly deserter was the only one to blame. It was not her father's fault, and certainly not her fault. She understood. She knew I did not blame her. And she knew that I could not help but hate Susa. He killed Tetsuya. He had held Tetsuya in his arms and gave him his old stethoscope as a toy. He had given Tetsuya his injection when Tetsuya had a fever and bought him the latest trending drink in town, which not even Hoshiguma had tried. Apart from Setsuko and myself, he was the dearest person to Tetsuya, dearer than even Tetsuya's own grandmother. If I did the same and pulled my sword against Hoshiguma... Is there no liberation for the Oni other than death? I was never freed. I exacted vengeance upon all the Oni who dared set foot in Kajimachi that night. I watched them cry helplessly, watched them go mad, watched them die, but I was never free. I told myself that I was forging the shield for Hoshiguma so that she would never repeat your mistakes. But perhaps it was always my own liberation that I was seeking. Were you free at the end of it all? At the end of it all, Susa? And I would like to immediately point out here that Susa is the name of Hoshiguma's father, as it's gonna be pretty much confirmed in the very next paragraph of and final part of this whole file. And speaking of, promotion record. My surname? I asked Uncle Tessai after my father's death. People called him Tessai, called my father Susa, and called me Hoshiguma. None of us had surnames. Other people did. Aunt Setsuko's surname was Inaba, but she no longer had one after she married Uncle Tessai. It's not a particularly interesting story. Are you sure you want to hear it? Well, I guess I can tell you over a drink. The widely accepted explanation is that the practice of the Oni using only given name began after Seisaku Onishobu's death. Many of his descendants joined the temples and discarded their real names in favor of Dharma names, in order to avoid trouble. On the other hand, there are also people who falsely claim to be descendants of Onishobu, including some who truly worship him. The problem is that you could walk into a room with a bunch of Oni, call out the name Saburo, and have 3 or 4 of them turn around to look at you, which created problems for everything from taxation to battlefield command. That's why the Northern Court issued the obligation of surnames for all people. The Southern Court had similar laws, essentially demanding that the Oni respect the tradition of the surname bestowed by the Sumeragimi, and restore their original surnames. The problem is that too much time had passed, and it was unclear who was trying to avoid trouble and who was trying to benefit by association. Besides, both sides prohibited Oni without surnames from claiming the name of Onishobu, and many people simply didn't cooperate. The whole thing basically went away quietly. Uncle Tessa said both my family and his were branches of the Onishobu clan. Mine specialized in medicine and divination, while his specialized in weapons and armor. If we were to restore our surnames, we would call ourselves Jigokuin or Tojin. I don't quite remember. I wouldn't take everything Uncle Tessa said at face value either. That bit about medicine and divination and weapons and armor might just have been him projecting onto us our ancestors. What? No. Just like how Missy gets angry when I call her commissioner, I'd rather you didn't add some weird surname to Hoshiguma. Names like Susa and Hoshiguma don't really fit well with a surname anyway. Last time I came to Rhodes Island, there was a Sarkas historian who thought I might be related to the famous Quilon after he saw my blue flames. Personally, I don't believe it. I do believe that his migration to the east brought the Anasa and Oni to Yan and Higashi, but I don't see the point in further speculation. It's not like Missy would increase my pay if I was Quilon's descendant. What do you mean I didn't expect you to actually be as well read as Wei and Wu said? We see each other for the first time in ages, and all you can do is tease me? It's getting late, and the training room's free. How about you fulfill my wish and Uncle Tessai's? You still can hold your drink. Alright, stop trying to act tough, Shen. I'll take you back to your room. They finally meet. They finally meet after so long. They finally meet again on Rhodes Island. And yeah, Shen is still a lightweight. Of course she is. She's a tsundere. I don't remember a single tsundere in any story being a heavy drinker. Maybe I'm forgetting one. But anyway, that is Hoshiguma's full file. And yeah, it definitely paints an interesting picture about both Tessai and his view on things, and what his thought process was essentially of going through the whole thing, trying to get the remedy essentially for the Oni going crazy and keeping them in check. But yeah, also we get a bit of history on the Oni as well. Yeah, Oni are essentially Sarkas. It's just a group of Sarkas, just like the Anasa, who moved away from Kazdal and settled down in a different territory and just pretty much just became part of the whole thing. Again, as a reminder, Sarkas are just a combination of multiple races under the name Sarkas. They are not just one single race. There are a shit ton in there, and they're also a bit scattered all over the place. And yeah, Oni are just part of the whole mix when it comes to it. But yeah, honestly, while she is obviously denying the whole Quilon thing, I mean, we do know obviously that cerulean flames are associated with Quilon, and therefore Hoshiguma has a pretty high chance of being a direct descendant of Quilons. I would not put it past her, and I'm trying to remember. I need to look up a picture. I need to look up the picture from IS4 again, because that did have a version of Quilon in there. I think he had green hair as well. Hold on. It's kind of more white than, yeah, it's more white. Even the ending 4 picture that does have like a Quilon in there is it's very hard to tell because it's so freaking zoomed out, but it's kind of more whitish grayish than actual green. But sort of there. Maybe she is, maybe she isn't, who knows. At the end of the day. But well, like I said, we all know cerulean flames, and cerulean flames were very well associated with Quilon, so you never know. Hoshiguma might be literally just a direct bloodline descendant from our dear Quilon. Our dear boatman. Good god, boats. Anyway, let's wrap this up, shall we? Alright, so this was a very fun story, honestly, from start to finish. At least it was very fun to me, and very entertaining, because as I said throughout this whole thing from start to finish, this has pretty much been just Arknights' take on Yakuza. Literally a Yakuza plotline, and at the end of the day, the big bad was just a politician. It literally was a Yakuza story, and by politician I mean the guy that we see, or not see very much so at the end, that was pretty much the instigator into the whole thing, that called out to Mifune to go and do all the bad things. Pretty much the catalyst was this guy who was off screen, and well, can't say much about him outside of the fact that he was an absolute dickhead. What an asshole. What a self-centered absolute asshole who set so much wild shit into motion. Good lord. But overall, yeah, definitely was an entertaining story from start to finish. Obviously, the ending does leave it very open to a lot of stuff. Obviously, as stories like this, when a new region is being introduced, they're obviously going to be ending with, hey, a possible future and continuation. I mean, this could spring into potentially a bigger story in the future, as we've seen with the little tease at the end. I mean, Sarasa being essentially the daughter of one of the 8 heads of this region and stuff like that. So who knows where that could lead. There is a tension that was described pretty vividly a lot of times throughout the story, with the North and the South being at constant odds with each other, and that conflict could break out at any time. So you never know. You never know what could happen in the future, right? So there we have that. But who knows where it's gonna end. But yeah, overall the story was very entertaining to see how the pieces are gonna fit in, the little plot lines between all the characters, how they're connected in a way, in a weird sense and way as well. And yeah, we'll see where that goes. But speaking of our characters for this story, let's go as usual over the NPCs first before we talk about the operators. So, NPC wise, we had a couple of them, you could say. The police detective Koreto, who looks like pretty much a pinup model for a calendar, but with bags under his eyes. But yeah, I don't really have much to say about the guy outside of, I mean, his biggest connection in the whole thing was the fact that he was in a pretty high position in the police, and that he had a direct connection to the Diet member who died to, as we found out, to Mifune 20 years ago, and Hoshiguma took the blame for the guy's death. And obviously, like the rest of the police, he was under the thumb of the Kintsugi Kai. But I do like that at the very end he did say no to everything, knowing that he is gonna be kicked from his position and kicked out of the police force entirely. But nice to see that he's trying for a position in the Diet. So good luck to him, I guess. I mean, he's stepping pretty much in the footsteps of his relatives. So will be interesting to see if actually something becomes of it. He definitely had a standout design when it comes to NPCs, so he might be showing up in the future. Again, if there's gonna be a continuation of this story about this region and the conflict, maybe like 2 or 3 years from this point onward where we are right now. Again, this story is taking place in 1099, which is just 2 short years before chapter 15 is taking place in, and just not even a full year after the events of chapter 14 and Act 2 completely ended. So this is kind of like in an interesting headspace here. But we'll see. We'll see what becomes of Koreto. Maybe he's gonna have a cameo in the future. They did write something for him, so who knows. The young Tetsuya, interesting conclusion for him, where again, he's definitely written as one of those characters that is rebelling against his family, but once shit goes down, well, he's gonna grow from this now. And as we heard about that little teaser that Fumizuki gave us, he's going around the place honing his skills. He's pretty much becoming kind of like a righteous samurai, a ronin essentially, who is going around the towns and places to help people out and deliver justice essentially, and at the same time is honing his skills. Outside of that, all I can say is he was definitely the typical teenager of being rebellious against his own father. But again, Tessai not telling him the full truth about the stuff made him rebel even further. Maybe Tetsuya would have not rebelled if Tessai would have been a bit more open with him. The good old, the head of the Yakuza cannot really talk about why some things had to be done the way they were, and that has always repercussions. So Tessai, this one's on you. The boy might have actually understood you if you actually talked to him, but yeah, it is what it is. But we'll see again. The boy has potential to appear somewhere in the future, just like Koreto. He could pop up at any given moment if we stick with some stories through Higashi. So we'll see. Then a cameo NPC at both the beginning and the end of the story with Fumizuki was nice to see. I always personally like when Fumizuki appears somewhere in the story. She has a certain bite to her, and a certain supporting role strength to her that is very, very nice to always see and hear from her in the stories. I do like the insinuation that both her and Hoshiguma go on biking trips and are competing who is faster. That is very funny. That is very funny, and something that would demand a 3D animation at some point. Hypergriff, please. Like a special 3D animation on one of the concerts would be nice. considering I think we're gonna have one this year as well, so it would be nice if they make a 3D animation with one of the soundtracks from this story. And just have Hoshiguma and Fumizuki do a bike race. That would be sick. But yeah, anyway, moving on. Sarasa, like I said, interesting design. I mean, design-wise, she like I said multiple times already, she literally just looks like Ina from Hololive. But she is an Ager, which is interesting. Obviously, Higashi has quite a lot of Ager population, as we know. As a reminder, Mizuki, our dear little Mizuki, is from Higashi, actually. So his roots are here. And yeah, Higashi itself has quite the Ager population. So nothing new there. I mean, one of our main characters of this story is literally Ager. He's literally a fish. But yeah, can't really say much about her outside of she's quirky. She's also kind of like in a rebellious state, which makes sense because of her position in life and her family. Potential for operator probably in the future as a liaison to one of the 8 figureheads of this region would probably make a lot of sense. Or you could probably even make it into a storyline of her father sent her to Rhodes Island as a form of learning to learn from people on Rhode Island to become a better leader, I guess, for the future. To one day inherit the position from him would be interesting, but we'll see what happens with her. She does have some interesting arts though, being able to absorb every single bit of light in a room and keep it under lock and key until she releases it. Also absorbing all the light, making her super sleepy, is very interesting. I wonder why, what the correlation is with it. Maybe it's a concentration thing. I mean, she did say in one of the lines that if she is asleep, the lights will not come back. Very interesting. Does have some. I wonder what animal what specific fish she is based on, considering the fluorescent bits on her hair and everything, and also her art being related to light. But we'll see what happens with her. She definitely has potential to become a playable character, so we'll see about that. The different little kami that appeared, again, these are just this Higashi's Beast Lords or Beast Aristocrats, and we saw 3 of them. One that just appears like a porcelain lucky cat, which is very interesting. One that is, again, I forget what the actual species is called, but kind of like a ferret shape. Which is fine, and then we have our what's it called? The pink Shiba Inu, right? Which again, interesting to see more of the Beast Lords, and I mean, as the stories are going to progress, we're probably going to meet more of them. I wonder, considering in the future we're getting some stories in new regions as well. Well, one new region, which is Minos. Pardon, voice is giving out. which is Minos, and I do wonder if there's gonna be a Beast Lord or Beast Aristocrat, however you wanna call it. Every one of these freaking designations is correct. you cannot miss it. Speaking of the Kami, Suzu Dad, we don't get a name, which is interesting. We don't get a name from them, so interesting. But yeah, he's the shrine priest here. Definitely has some interesting and very powerful arts, which obviously his daughter has inherited to some degree, so very funny. Definitely high level of design on him, very detailed design, so I don't know if they're gonna make him playable. Considering his position, he's in that position where it's kinda doubtful that he could become a playable character, unless they do a thing of, a similar thing of what they do with Pramanix, where she pretty much sneaks out and does some jobs for Rhodes Island. But we'll see. Would be, I mean, honestly, I would personally love it if he becomes playable, purely for the fact so we can literally unite the family. Have both the mom, the daughter, and the father, and you can just put them on a team. I wonder if he becomes playable, I am willing to bet that they're gonna give him some passive that if Suzuran and Ingrid are gonna be in the team with him, that they're gonna get some passive buff from him. I would absolutely not be surprised if they give him some kind of mini passive for those two being on the team. That would be kind of fun. Right, moving on then, Tessai. Again, not much to say about the whole guy. He definitely demanded presence and some form of respect in scenes that he was in. I mean, he was the figurehead of the Kintsugi Kai after all, even though he was undermined at that point, but still, pretty big character overall. But yeah, he was a Yakuza boss, and he got essentially the ending of a Yakuza boss. There is nothing to say there. The only thing I can say is that he did carry a lot of faults with him. He was trying to rectify them, but I also feel like the guy gave up after some time to do anything, and he reaps what he sows. But still, he did try to do a lot of stuff 20 years ago before everything went to shit, and sadly he never got the opportunity to properly do so. He did reforge the shield at the end, at least, so that's that. And he did serve as a catalyst, as a wake-up call for Hoshiguma to step up as well, so he did serve his purpose in the story, at least. But yeah, not much else to say about the guy outside of that he definitely once upon a time went through a shit ton of lengths to help his family members, but all of it crumbled, and then he just seemingly gave up to try and do anything. And it seems that even in his past, he was kind of like not really someone who explained himself properly to people, which is a shame. You should always explain yourself properly to people, especially family members. But yeah, it was honestly very, his death, his ending sequence was definitely something that did get me a tiny bit. But then again, I'm a sucker for the scenes like that, so you know, that's me. Right then, Mio, our next character. Interesting. Again, a total mama hen and protector of the younglings and people who join her. I guess now they're not even a Yakuza group anymore. They're just a group of hooligans of sorts, I guess. Just a group of kids and people that live on the streets, and she's just overseeing them and directing them. But then again, she does have a very high detail of design, and who knows if she's gonna become playable. She does have the potential. I mean, she could be invited to join Rhode Island at some point to do some work for them and contract work to just earn money for the support of her group and stuff like that. Hell, she could probably take her entire group as a mercenary squad and work for Rhode Island for all I care. That could be a good place for them to actually start a new page in their lives and turn some stuff around for themselves. But yeah, outside of that, interesting character from the perspective of someone who appears completely ice cold, but then, as we saw through the story, is very, very protective of people, especially Momoka. She definitely had a very, very soft spot for Momoka, as she was trying to support her, and at the end of the story, when she couldn't do anything for her, there's definitely moments where she felt some very heavy guilt. And also, she's not a stupid character. When she realizes that she cannot win, she just goes away. Like, what's the point of continuing here? I have other duties to attend to. But yeah, we'll see what happens with her. She definitely has just like Sarasa has and Suzdad has a big potential to become playable, considering the design of the character, of course. Mifune! What a scumbag! A interesting villain scumbag. I cannot fault him for the fact that, I cannot dismiss him as a character, because as a villain, he worked well. He worked very, very well in the story, was very well represented, and despite all of the shit he did, and despite everything else, there was still an inkling of he definitely had some paternal feelings towards Tetsuya. I mean that ending there where he literally slaps it into Tetsuya's face that the words he was saying to Tessai on that live stream were actually meant for Tetsuya, which again just shows that he did have some good in him, but way too little, way too late. Way too little, way too late. Also, yeah, he was the guy who killed the Diet member, not Hoshiguma, all those years ago. But Hoshiguma, on the other hand, did kill a lot of fellow Kintsugi Kai members in that whole kerfuffle. Both of them did some heinous shit. And Mifune kept on doing the heinous shit throughout his entire life after that. But yeah, he was a great villain. I really enjoyed voicing him as well. It was fun to do. And rip Bozo, I guess, at this point. He is gone. He has been captured by the police, and I don't know if in the future they're gonna drop like a single sentence where they say what happened to him or something like that. Like, again, if this story is gonna have a continuation, if they're gonna mention what happened to him. But he definitely seems like some character, like, I don't know if Higashi has like the death penalty. Columbia definitely has, but I don't know if Higashi has the death penalty, but we'll see. At the best that can happen to him, it's gonna be that he's gonna be the rest of his life in prison, pretty much. But yeah, I really enjoyed him as a villain. He definitely has had presence and spoke some true words as well in the whole mix, despite the fact that he was definitely stuck in a cage of his own making, essentially. All right, playable characters. Let's go over the two that were just on the very end. Spire and the Rat appearing for a brief moment as Hoshiguma returned back to Lungmen. It was very fun to see those two in the story just pop up for a brief moment. Again, this story served also the purpose to remind you that, and I can't remember if we got dates back then for it, but definitely sets itself up as well that it took almost place at the same time as, I mean, it takes place in summer, so it pretty much takes place around the same time as the Siesta story with Swire and Eya Fiala, the Adele story, right? By the way, for anybody interested who hasn't experienced the Adele story, I will leave a link for it in the description of the video, so you can just click on it and watch it if you want to. Pretty good story. Honestly, pretty good story. Very huge focus on Eya Fiala, though, so keep that in mind. Swire and a couple of other characters had their story arcs in that story, but the main focus was Eya Fiala and her family in the Siesta story, in the second Siesta story that we had. But yeah, it was fun to see those two, and just having the whole thing reaffirmed that, yeah, this story and the Siesta story took place at the same time, roughly around the same time frame. Then we have Moriuchi. Interesting character, fun. not really as sleazy as I was expecting him to be. He's an information trader, but overall pretty normal guy. Nothing too crazy there, quite honestly. Just has a way of talking and sharing information that very lax feeling to him. Interesting background from his family as well, that they were struggling with finances, kind of a lucky streak, and then struggled with finances again, and that resulted in the tragic ends to both his dad and his mom. So definitely tragic past there, but overall pretty chill guy, pretty good guy. Fun for the story as well. And I do like that, despite the fact that he was definitely used by Mifune for some stuff in the background, he did after everything stand up for himself and did not want to participate anymore. So good on him for that decision. Kichisei, honestly, not much to say there about Kichisei outside of just a quirky addition to the story. Served her purpose, I guess. I don't even know much what the purpose was, instead of being a friend to Momoka, which is something Momoka definitely needed. Momoka definitely needed a normal friend in the whole mix, so having Kichisei in the story be a friend to her. Outside of that, she is a normal. What's the Japanese term they use? She's a gyaru, essentially, and fun overall. Nothing crazy to say there. And I do not believe they're gonna be returning her for a future story. Maybe she's gonna appear as a cameo if there's gonna be a second Higashi story, but I somehow doubt that there's gonna be something. Also, I haven't read her file, but considering they have not mentioned at the end of the story why Kichisei, compared to Momoka and Moriuchi, who both exclaimed that they're gonna be going to Rhode Island, Kichisei doesn't say anything like that, so I'm gonna presume and go out on a limb even before I read her file by myself at some point, that she probably went to Rhode Island because of Momoka. Because she wanted to see what Momoka is up to and how Rhode Island operates. I kinda have a sneaking suspicion that that's gonna be her whole case. But yeah, outside of that, I don't really have much to say about her. Outside of that, she is a good buddy for Momoka, and I do like her personality quite a lot. Speaking of Momoka, very fun character, especially in the beginning part of the story. Very fun character to voice through. From her normal wholesomeness as an idol to absolutely scared shitless, to being a comedic character with the whole crying at everything routine, was very funny. And then you have the very serious moments and backgrounds, and when those hit, they freaking hit. The whole part with her family perishing by literally drinking polluted water and getting infected by the pollution, and that's slowly literally killing them, which is stuff like that is stories like that are actually based on reality and people who lived next to like polluted sources of water, and they consume that, and that just causes, like, as they described in the story, that whole losing feeling in your limbs and just your body coordination, and slowly dying from that. It's horrible. It's a horrible condition. She definitely has a freaking traumatizing childhood as a character. But interesting conclusion with her, and probably a character that is gonna return for something in the future. I mean, they did set her up with the whole agency that she's now in charge of, a new agency that she founded, and also Sarasa declaring that she would like to be part of her idol agency if it actually takes off. And she seems to still keep getting contracts and everything, or gigs as a singer idol. So very good on her. But yeah, overall, very fun character. The whole plan thing was, the whole Hasuke thing was freaking amazing. That was probably the one of the highlights of of her in this story. Outside of delivering very good speeches and addressing people and stuff like that. Very, very, very good, honestly. I had a lot of fun voicing her, and we'll see what happens. And I do find it funny that at least the way I'm interpreting the end of the story with the pink little Shiba Kami appearing before Hoshiguma, they're definitely putting some insinuation there. Very funny, very funny. And yeah, our final character for the whole thing, Hoshiguma. I mean, what to say? She's a beloved character. Was fun to see her in a story. And getting to actually, after so many years of her being a playable operator, finally getting like a full backstory on her, seeing her old stomping ground, learning what drove her away from Higashi and made her go to Lungmen, why it was, learning about her family, learning about the fact that she potentially could be a descendant of Quilon, which is still crazy to think about, but you know, it is what it is. Also a reminder again that the Oni are Sarkas, essentially, in origin, but they split away from the military courts and stuff like that, so they are their own thing at this point. Very funny, but yeah, overall, was nice to see her in the story. Was nice to see her actually step up and do stuff. Because throughout the portion of the story, she was definitely insecure about the whole thing, didn't know what to do. But when Tessai died, that was her. Well, her wake-up call was already kind of there when her friends started to be in danger because of Mifune. But Tessai was her wake-up call to finally stop being passive and do stuff and clear out the old pain in the butt Mifune and what they had since 20 years ago because of that shit. But yeah, it was nice seeing Hoshiguma in a full-on story. Cannot complain. Really enjoyed. She is also very easy to voice because she has a very normal tone in her voice in general, so that was fun. And not straining as Momoka, for example. The Kami voice was easier than Momoka, quite honestly. Keeping that tone going for a while is strenuous. Is all I can say. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed the story very much. Especially as a Yakuza fan. I do wonder how everybody else felt about the story, obviously. So do leave me comments down below. I would love to hear from you guys, as always, on these endings, how you felt about the stories, what your thoughts are, what your gripes are with the story. Honestly, I also thought like the pacing for the story was pretty well done as well. No long meanderings, pretty much to the point, switching between perspectives, or rather from character to character, and seeing how everything is revolving and stuff. Went pretty well. I have really no complaints. Also didn't feel like it's too long. The cutscenes on each stage were, I would say, an average of like 23 to 24 minutes per stage. Like the last couple were like 30 minutes roughly, but well, even less than 30 minutes probably. But most of them were like around the 25-minute mark, which is kind of funny. I think in a recent couple of stories there was quite a lot of cutscenes where the majority of them were around the 20 to 25-minute mark, which is honestly kind of like the sweet spot for these cutscenes, if you look at them individually. Yeah, therefore pacing is definitely getting better and better as of recent. They had Hypergrip had definitely a bit of a, now looking in retrospect, had a bit of a pacing issue with some stories like a year and a half, 2 years ago, where there was maybe a bit too much meandering. Some cutscenes felt a bit too long, but still they do tend to drop a cutscene from time to time that is like ridiculously long. But it is what it is. Sometimes there is an excuse and it works, but sometimes it just feels like a lot. And this story definitely did not feel like a lot. It felt very, very nice, at least to me. So yeah, do leave me guys in the comment section how you felt about the story, and what you enjoyed about it, what you didn't enjoy about it, characters, and so on and so forth, and let's have a nice little discussion as always in these final parts. But anyway, that will be enough from me. I have quite the video to edit now together. Considering this is the final part, they always take the longest to edit and record. But it is what it is, and hope you guys enjoyed this final part. If you did so, please consider leaving a like, it would help out a lot. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing, and if you want to support me more directly, memberships are open on the channel, and as I always say, no video will be behind a membership, it's purely there for support, so thank you very much to all the members already doing so. Much appreciated, and I hope you all have a fantastic day wherever you are, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, bye-bye. Ooh. Kichi in the back like... what am I doing here? She's casting some light, huh? Very funny. Yeah, also, she has some weird ornaments in her hair as well that are glowing. What is she even supposed to be? Because of her hair, I called her that she looks like Ina. But now I'm wondering, because of the glowy ornaments, unless these are like some kind of arts or devices that are just there for shits and giggles and show. She may be an Ager, and those are just some fluorescent bits in her hair or some shit. Probably not. I can't wait for Momaka's show. Oh boy, hi. Oh boy, hi, Mio. Oh, this is not gonna end well. Is it locked? I guess we'll have to do this the hard way. Get out of the way. Oh, never mind. It's Hoshiguma. Okay. Sarasa has interesting skills. Again, it leaves me with the impression that she might be an Ager because of the light control and everything. Interesting. Oh shit! Enveloped in blue flames. Yeah, you are definitely your bloodline is definitely a descendant of Quilon, the Cerulean flames. That is kinda stupidly interesting. I'm not gonna lie. Because the only other person who can wield Cerulean flames is Hanyaa, and that one has a reason, because of the crown. But yeah, you are definitely a descendant. That is so good. This is crazy heavy. You know how hard it was to get it out of Kimbi's room, even with all that chaos at the TV station? Catch! Oh, he got the shield. This son of a bitch. He stole the shield. Yes, let's go. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. You done goofed. You done absolutely goofed. She pissed. Yes. Oh yes. Yes. Hoshiguma pissed. Let's go. Oh shit, Tetsuya is here. Oh shit, Tetsuya is here. Buddy, I don't think you stand a chance if you decide to, you know, attack him right now. It might be a bad idea. Might be a very bad idea. Oh boy. You're the one who should be reunited with my father. Oh shit. Oh shit, he actually went for it. Oh god. Uh-oh. Tetsuya? Buddy boy? You're gonna lose that head. But if you're lucky, you're just gonna lose your horns. Good god. Oh wow. This is the end of the story. This is where we're gonna get like 10 CGs in a row, as per usual. Man, I wish these were a bit more spread out throughout the story and not like the last 5 minutes get like 10. Even though I'm happy, because a lot of shit happens in the last 10 minutes, but my god, they need to spread them out more, or just for earlier portions of the story, just dump a lot more of them in. Just for the flair. I know it takes time to make these pictures, but I very highly doubt that it's not in their capacity. Good god. And another CG. What? Wow, calling her a bitch. Wow. 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 You really are an asshole. They really wrote this guy to be a very believable, very easy to hate asshole. But at the same time, this bitch does have some form of charisma to him. They really wrote him to be a proper Yakuza boss. This is literally like every single one of the asshole bosses in the regular Yakuza games are, pretty much. You hate them. You hate their guts when you're playing the game. They're pissing you off and they're being absolute assholes. But you cannot completely dismiss them. They have charisma, and when they speak, you fucking listen. This bitch, yes, Mifune Yu. This bitch is definitely in that category of there is something about him that despite the fact that despite that he's very easily hateful, easy to hate, easy to hate. He's still he's still a great villain, honestly, for this story. Did you know? We were looking for you everywhere after you ran away on that motorbike that night. I was the one who searched your house. Oh no! Oh no, is he the guy who cut the plant? Oh no! Oh, I hope she goes off the rails. Oh, please tell me she's gonna go off the rails when he says what he's about to say. Is he gonna say it? Boy, was that a crappy place. Big idol like you, I thought you'd be living in a mansion or something, but you didn't have anything worth shit. What's with the collection of garbage by our window anyway? Oh no, he did cut the plant? Some kind of weird obsession? Oh my god, she's getting so pissed. Oh no. Say that again? The tape kept loose? I thought I put it all right. Who cares? Just a frail little idol. I'll tell you, not only did I have to check all that weird garbage you had by the window one by one, I also trimmed the dying plant for you. Oh no! Oh, you're about to die. Oh no, you cut Hasuke? Hasuke? Oh, the tree sprout was barely even a weed. Yeah, I did it. What about it? How did you even take care of it? I have no idea, cause its leaves were all yellow and brittle. Wait, oh my god, he started digging. He started digging the grave and he keeps on digging. He just keeps on digging. He's getting deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. Good god. You're about to die, buddy. No way it was gonna live, so I put it out of its misery. That was a kindness. I've grown flowers before, and it takes patience and endless love and care. You understand? Someone like you. Wow! He keeps digging! How is he managing this? What the shit, you idiot? No wonder you never got promoted. You just keep digging your own grave the entire time. Oh, she's about to go off. The music is fading. The music faded away. Oh, please. Give me a banger right now. Hey, how did you get up? What kind of crappy duct tape was that? I see, you must know some sort of arts. You were eager, so I guess it's about water? That's it, of course, no wonder the tape came loose. But didn't the vet say that only the infected could use arts without a unit? That's weird. You couldn't have broken the tape with brute force, could you? Ah, of course. Dude. No, of course not. That you've ever lifted anything heavier than an apple must be arts. She broke it. She broke it. So what? What are you gonna do? Spray water in my face? She has a staff. If she still has a staff with her, she's gonna murder your ass. Oh god, no. What's happening? Why are we fading? Oh my god. The novice ninja taunts Momoga, but he keeps his gaze fixed on her eyes. A cornered beast will fight back, and the same is true for the girl in front of him. What kind of arts will she use? Mist, a high-pressure jet, acid spray even? She's gonna pummel you with the fucking staff, you bitch. He must not let his guard down just because he is facing an idol with no combat experience. It is unlikely that her arts would be particularly powerful, and there would be little movement from her microphone-shaped arts unit when she casts. Better to stay focused on her eyes. You're so dead. She actually has the microphone. Okay. Her eyes will betray all that she is thinking. For example, murderous intent. Foolish girl, not knowing her place. But that is all. Observe her eyes and analyze her intent. Be the timing of casting, direction, or... Why is there no intent other than murder? Oh no. Oh my god, she lunged for him. Before he can react, that ninja feels a dull thud on his head. Holy shit. What? You hit me on the head with your mic? What kind of arts is... Oh my god, she's going nuts. Buddy, this is no arts. This is just blunt force trauma. Oh god, murder. Beast. Heartless devil. This is for Hasuke. Oh my god. Wait, calm down. No, I will not. It wasn't that yet. Yeah, how could you? How could you cut my Hasuke? Jesus Christ. Momoka babbles her incoherent, vengeful fury, a far cry from the image that she presented on stage just moments ago. Her microphone finds the ninja again and again, striking with a fury that even hell does not know. Stop, no. I will kill you, you bastard. I will beat this heartless monster to death. Holy shit. Wow, that was great. It's fucking hell. Holy shit, Momoka. Is someone gonna run in? Stunned voice. Momoka, what are you doing? I'm killing the bastard who killed my Hasuke. I will rip him from limb to limb. Holy shit. So you're fine? I'm fine, I'm very fine. We're gonna beat his asshole into a pulp. Momoka, calm down, he's not worth it. We gotta get out of here. This is amazing. The rain of blows finally comes to an end as footsteps fade in the distance. The other voice must have belonged to Kichise, the one who was with Momoka. Yes, it was Kichise who took Momoka away. It must be her. Thank you, Kichise, you're my lucky star! The novice ninja gives Kichise his most sincere gratitude before passing out. Not that he is in any condition to verbalize it. The music cut out as well. This was beautiful. This was fucking beautiful. I'm fucking crying. Also, why are we doing this music right now? Finally the duel for these two. Oh god, I need to take a breath before I continue. Holy shit. Oh shit, that was on beat. He appeared on the beat, damn. Oh shit. Oh shit. Well, that's a bloodbath. Oh yeah, cool. Give me the collar. Holy shit, Hoshiguma. Damn, girl. You really slaughtered them, huh? Oh shit. Oh, that's gonna need his tail clinging around the sword. Damn. Oh shit. Sick. And then in a blink of an eye, it is over. Ah, yes. Oh shit, yeah. Okay, come on, there has to be one more picture where he buckles down. Oh, come on. We didn't get a picture for that. Oh, with Momoka. Oh. Yeah, pretty much like I said. Pretty much like I said. There's like a fuck ton of CGs right now at the end. Well, the two of them are having fun. Oh! Oh shit! Oh shit! The doggy appeared! Okay, for who is it? Hoshiguma, don't you already have Chen? Hoshiguma, don't you already have Chen? What is this? Are we going Yuri now? If so, yes. Anyway, what? The last sparks fade into the darkness. Game? I think you were about to close off and return to the menu. Game? It hanged on the last frame. Ah, beautiful. It just works. It just works. Oh, back in Lungmen. Oh! Someone came back from her trip in Siesta. Also, hi there, rat. How's it going? The stinky rat. Alright. Kiyokaku. What is a Kiyokaku? Most commonly refers to a chivalrous person, self-styled humanitarian, or a gallant commoner in historical Japan, often acting as a knight-errant or gang leader. It can also refer to whatever those squiggles are, meaning the rib cage or thorax in medical contexts. Okay, a chivalrous person, huh? Interesting. Who are they referring to? A young... Oh, they're probably referring to Tetsuya. I would say. He disappeared. Right. A young Kyokaku. Yeah, that could be Tetsuya.
He keeps his face hidden, and though his swordplay isn't
yeah, it's Tetsuya. Okay. Wow. Wow. Okay. Yeah, he's definitely repenting for everything he has done. Yeah. Man, that boy has a long road in front of him. Jesus.
A police officer dismissed from his post in Mitsukue is now planning to run for diet office.
Hey, Koreto stepping into the shoes of his relative. You cried so much when Hoshiguma left. I thought you'd leave Mitsukue for Lungmen too.
I wasn't that down bad.
When a sentence immediately hits you in the head. in the wrong place. I wasn't that down bad. Oh, shut up. Oh, shut up. The kami of lovey-dovey pairs appeared in front of you two. You are gonna be fucking. Anyway.
But I still think maybe in a place where no one knows Momoka Hanyu, Haruka Shino could live a little life of her own.
Oh, so yeah, I was right. That's why she chose that as her operator name. Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, a second chance for Haruka, essentially. Oh, that is very sweet.
She sent me a letter with her family crest on it. It's the Nishigoris.
Nishigori.
The Nishigori clan from the Northern Courts
for Great Khan. She was the Northern spy. I didn't even think about that. That is hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. You know what? I forgot about the possibility of an actual spy. Considering they wrapped the thing up with like the crates with the weapon crates and everything, and just kind of pretending that there was an orphan spy, and then this little shrimp. This is great. Oh, a kami. Got your wish. The kami swiftly pounces onto the top of the machine. The fuck? Oh, it was the cat back then. Oh, I thought they were doing a switcheroo. With the little ferret weasel, whatever he is. I forgot what he's actually supposed to be. Anyway. Oh shit, they're actually showing the face of that. Damn. Huh, so she really... Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. What the fuck? So she really just appears like a porcelain lucky cat? Interesting. The past few days you were gone, yes? I went through so many hurdles. I asked that Kimbi to bring me back my pachinko machine. A simple job, no? But I couldn't give the order directly, so I said, take over Kajimachi, come up with a redevelopment plan, and bring back this pachinko machine on the way back, because I have ties to it. Wow! All of this shit started because of this asshole? Wow. 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 He will never see the kami ever again after this day. Wow. Wow. Alright. Oh! You two are meeting. Alright.
Are you as harsh with her as you are with me?
The priest is momentarily stunned, then looks at Sarasa as if she's a creature he cannot communicate with. Male Ager? Female Alafia. Okay, so maybe I'm running the assumption that Sarasa is an Ager? Maybe these are her parents or something? Female Alafia. So an Ager, aka some kind of aquatic background character, plus a deer. Interesting. Oh, never mind. These are two people from different clans. It's time to head home, Sarasa. Oh, so she's an Ager. Okay, so this guy is with her. Okay, so it is her dad. So she's an Ager. Huh. Interesting. Interesting ending there. They're definitely leaving it open for something to come in the future as a next story. They definitely build it up the whole thing here with North and South. Whoa, what? I just realized the music is different. What the shit? Oh, shit! Oh, shit, hold on. Ah, shit! Wow. 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 What are the backgrounds here? Oh. The haunted house. Parking. Oh, what the shit. Texting. He walks away. That's cute. Okay. What else do we have? Oh, the shrine. Oh, that's cute. That is cute. Okay. But anyway, back to work for me.